Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome in. Week number 4 is upon us.
Correct.
And we are here to help you set your fantasy football lineups, to talk about, trades that you might be making, to talk about fantasy football team reviews, all of that in between. We'll talk injury reports. We'll give you the latest information. Appreciate y'all for being here with us. Now, on today's stream, as we do with every single stream that we have ever done, we're going to start answering questions on the Flock Fantasy site, and those will be prioritized first. So, if you want to get your questions in, definitely submit through the site. I'll pin that message as well for you guys. Appreciate y'all for being here. Now, big week for fantasy football, for college football. Big week for college football. Now, a lot of you guys may not be interested in college football. That's okay. The vast majority of you probably are.
It's actually a huge week for college football. Come on.
On Friday night, let me just tell you guys a quick story. I grew up in Newport News, Virginia. Okay. And, my parents, my dad lived off of food stamps as a kid. And, my mom and dad, they didn't have a lot of money. But one thing my dad always did for me and my family was get season tickets to Virginia Cavalier football. Okay. So we would travel up to Charlottesville. We'd spend some time there. So I would go to games all the time as a little kid. One of my favorite core memories. Now, a part of that core memory, and I've said this many times on our channel, is getting our ass kicked by Florida State. I mean, I was just happy to be there. I'm just a little kid. We're getting some some Virginia merch. I'm wearing a hat, getting a football. I was obsessed with it, right? But a part of that core memory is looking up at the scoreboard, sitting in Scott Stadium, and it says 63-10. You're like, fuck, we are bad, but this is fun. That's pretty much the entirety of my lifehood, watching college football with Virginia. But on Friday night, things changed. The atmosphere shifted. And I was talking to my dad about this. I was trying to figure out, man, can I think in my lifetime, have I ever seen a bigger win for Virginia football? I don't think so. Obviously, basketball, we won the national championship before, but for Virginia football in my lifetime, I think that was the biggest win I've seen for Virginia. So that was huge. That was awesome to watch. It was a perfect time for me in Australia to watch it as well. Wish I was there at Scott Stadium. Now, I'm saying all that because if you want to enter today's giveaway, all you got to do is type wahoo wah in the chat and like the stream. All right, all one word. Wahoo wah, baby. 2 up, 2 down, as Badaki would say. Appreciate y'all for being here with us. Again, wahoo wah in the chat, like the stream. Once you've done those 2 things, you'll be entered into today's giveaway. Every 75 likes we reach, we will go ahead and we will give away some vouchers. I appreciate y'all big time. We got a big stream ahead, so let's just jump straight into it and shout it to the Virginia Cavaliers. Man, that was fun. I've not had that much fun watching Virginia football. The stadium, too. Whoa, electric.
It was all there. It was all happening.
Oh, I want to be a part of it so bad. Okay, let's start off with the trade question from Boxer here.
Appreciate you, a Boxer. Jordan Mason, Kyron Williams, and you are receiving in return Bucky Irving. This is a start 7. A smaller league. I'll be okay taking the Bucky Irving side here.
Yeah. I'm fine with that. I think Kyron Williams, Jordan Mason, pretty even. In most 12-team leagues, start 8 formats, you're probably keeping Kyron Williams.
Yeah.
Honestly, they are in the same tier.
Yeah, this is obviously a free Jordan Mason for this other person, but this is a huge tier up. In a star 7, I'm looking at your team: Jonathan Taylor, Ashton Genty, Kyron Williams, your RB3. You're gonna have Quinshon Judkins and Trey Benson. I'll do this just to up tier for.
I'd be curious if you could counter and remove Kyron and add Trey Benson instead. I'd be curious if you could counter and remove Kyron and even put Genty there instead. Those would be 2 options I would consider first. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you there.
Thick summary. He is sending away Javonte and Tony Pollard for Drake London. And I'm fine with this.
Yeah, this is a Dynasty team as well.
Wow, in Dynasty, you're getting an absolute steal here.
Yeah. Whether I'm competing or not, I still want Drake London long term.
Exactly. I don't care what your status is. This is a great way to get off 2 veteran running backs for a young guy who's budding into a star. I know it's not happening yet this year, but he will.
Jay is next here. Mace, Jordan Love, Gibbs, Benson. You already started Jackson Smith and Jigba, and Michael Pittman or George Pickens here.
I'll go Pickens.
Yeah, I'm still gonna go Pickens, and at the flex, I see Alvin Kamara or Jordan Mason. Now that's a great question. If I'm not mistaken, off the top of my head, I do have, I think, Jordan Mason ahead of Alvin this week.
I am quite close between the two, but I prefer Mason.
Yeah,
that offense is just what I want to be a part of a little bit more.
Yeah, I completely.
But Pittman's a great start. I just don't want to sit. Pittman's a great start. I just don't want to sit Pickens.
Yeah.
I have to resubmit this. Give me 1 second here. Let's see. Shout out to Daniel, by the way, currently top supporter in September. Keeping the lights on here.
Huge
okay, I think that did go through, actually. Let's keep going.
Okay. Proud Brownie. Oh, no. Mo. I think I'm saying that.
Yeah.
Josh Allen, Chase Brown, Chuba, Jamar Chase, Ricky, Jake Ferguson. And at the flex, Quinshon Judkins, or for me, this is Quentin Johnston. I'm going to go Quinshon Judkins here.
Yeah, Johnston is... I keep saying this, and again, like this week, it could all be fine. I have all of the Charger receivers as the top 3 guys, all top 30 in my rankings. But the reality is, right now, it's been very much like Ladd has been the odd man out. That won't be the case all year. It just won't. Like, there will be weeks where Johnston's the odd man out, Keenan's the odd man out. You know, Quentin Johnston's not going to, score 17 touchdowns this year, which he's currently on pace for. So I'm going to lean Judkins, just going to touch the ball more than anyone.
Yeah. Proud Brownie says, was offered this trade. Calculator says, fair. You are sending away Amari and Hampton for Chase Brown and Marvin. Now, Marvin does have a decent game.
Yeah.
I just still think there's still a lot more. I don't know if that was a decent game for Marvin.
I'm so happy for him.
I'm happy for him as well. He was down bad.
Yeah.
Huge after the first quarter, or the first quarter of that game.
I've said this many times. I feel like it's mental. It's mental right now for him. So for him to, like, the people making fun of him after he scores a touchdown and he's like getting emotional about it, I don't think you guys understand how much pressure this guy's under. The name that he carries. And to be, I'm sorry, like a disappointment for that long, knowing he's not living up to his expectations. I mean, maybe we're definitely all different people, but the relief I would feel in that moment if I was him. I understand him getting emotional, finally living up to his expectations. I still think he's going to be a great player long term. My problem is, as much as I am like pro Chase Brown, I don't know that he's the running back I want to give up Hampton for. So I'm just looking at their lineup. I'm curious if you can get a Godwin involved and send back like a Keon Coleman or Jerry Jeudy or something like that, So
yeah, I'm okay to get something.
Maybe make it a 3 for 3. If not Godwin, I'm also interested in adding JCM here as a long-term stash and sending back, I don't know, like a Boutte or something, Booty, whatever. So those are a couple counters.
Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Next one here says, should I keep this player or sell everything? You're sending away Trey Benson or Roma Dunze. This is Dynasty.
Yeah.
And look, I'm gonna take out the third. I'm going to take out Christian Watson there.
Yeah.
So you are receiving a 27 early first, Jaden Higgins in a second.
I'm going to be honest with you, this is not even close to enough value.
No.
I'm very much team Jaden Higgins long term. I'm definitely right there with you, but you've got a young budding star in Roma Dunze, a young player. It doesn't matter if you're competing or if you're not competing. You're giving away Roma Dunze, a young budding player. Trey Benson, who should be much better rest of season. Like, the way I look at this is you're basically giving up a first, or you're giving it Roma Dunze for a first, because the third and Watson don't matter. So you're giving it Roma Dunze for a first. Like, why? Why would you do that? Then you're giving up Trey Benson for a second. Why are people, like, I'm getting these trade offers because I'm very much team Trey Benson in Dynasty. I'm getting so many trade offers where people are sending me a second round pick for Trey Benson. Like, sorry, that I wouldn't have sold him for that before James Conner went down. Why would I do it now? So I don't think you're getting anywhere near enough value for these two names in Dynasty. Like, not even close.
I completely agree. And I think Rome is going to be at that. I mean, if he continues to play this way, he's going to be at that 1-2 turn in a dynasty startup going into next year.
Yeah.
Right now, I would say he's middle of the second, maybe end of the second. But if he continues, it's going to be 1-2 turn, no question.
Yeah, and I don't expect people to pay a first for Benson, but I'm not selling him for a second. Why would I sell Trey Benson for a random second? That makes no sense whatsoever. Oh, maybe I'll hit on another Trey Benson. It's like, oh, anything could be in the box. Trey Benson could be in the box as a second round. It makes no sense to me in these trade offers that I'm getting right now. Stop sending me a second round pick for Trey Benson. I'm not even going to reply to those trades anymore. I'm getting them so often. Yeah, there's like 3 first round picks that should be in this trade. Like, remove the second. It should be 3 first and Jaden Higgins. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
It's a hard pass for me. Hard pass. Vinny.
Appreciate you. Vinny needs help with his flex here. A lot of good options. I see just Travion Henderson. That's where I want to go. I'm going to start Travion on that flex option there.
Okay, yeah. Between all those names, I agree with you.
Yeah. Appreciate you, Vinny. Kez is sending away Chase Brown, Jacoby Myers, and receiving Jordan Addison and Drake London. I'm okay with this trade. I think the up tier of the wide receiver is pretty significant now. In a start 7, Jordan Mason is probably not going to be producing the way he's doing now until Aaron Jones comes back. But once again, 10-team start 7, I'm willing to take the risk there if you have the depth.
Yeah, this is a no-brainer to go from Myers to London. Brown and Mason are back-to-back in my rankings, so no-brainer in my mind.
Yeah.
Ear says he's sending away Kyron and Ladd for Scattaboo, Henderson, and Debo. 12-team start 8. I think Debo and Ladd, even though Ladd's going to be better, I think you could probably put them in the same category right now.
Yeah, I agree.
Right now, his running backs are Chase Brown and Kyron Williams. So if he makes this move, he has Chase, Scat, Henderson. I like this as a buy low on Henderson. We have a lot of the same players in the Flock League here. I actually don't mind this trade, honestly. I don't mind
I'm
this
okay
trade.
I'm okay with this trade as well.
Yeah, I think this is fairly even. Again, guys, just want to clarify to everybody in the chat. Like, I appreciate Luke for joining as a little member there on YouTube. Shout out to Big Tex. Now, we've said this from the very beginning of the year. We'll say it again. We are gonna do every stream the same, where we answer all the questions on the Flock site first, and then if we have time, we'll come back over to YouTube and answer some questions. But these people are prioritizing us on the Flock site, so we're gonna prioritize them. Appreciate y'all big time. JRod here _RT. By the way, you can enter today's giveaway if you want by typing Wahoo Wah in the chat, all one word, and like the stream. JRod, he's starting Mahomes, Bijan, Swift, Myers, McConkey, Ferguson. We got to start ETN, and then at your other flex spot, you're in a difficult position for sure.
I mean, it looks like Xavier Worthy is going to play. I don't know if I'm going to be trusting the Luther Burdens again until I see it one more time. Jerry has been non-existent.
Yeah, this is tough.
Do you just go Tyquan?
I just don't want to play him with Worthy active. That's my problem.
Yeah.
I
Kelsey.
think I'm going Judy here against Detroit. You can beat Detroit in the air. They're going to be down the entire game. I don't like it at all, but
yeah, I hear you.
That's what I'm
Sesame. Drake May, Jahmyr Gibbs, James Cook, starting Rome. I want to be starting Tetaroa, McMillan, and then at the flex is going to be between Mason and Zay for me.
I'm going Mason.
Yeah, Mason just.
I think
Scat... Well, you want to put Mason in the RB2 spot, by the way, because that's the international game as well.
Scat could be great too, but I just want the guaranteed offense. So, yeah.
Dynasty Ties, it was offered this. Should I do 1-for-1 or counter? And Mika Ibuka for Ashton Genty.
As much as I love Genty, he's not as valuable as Ibuka right now.
Yeah.
Your team is pretty solid. You can afford to lose a receiver for a running back for sure. But, yeah, I mean, I'd rather say, hey, can you give me Bucky instead? Like, Bucky makes more sense.
Mm.
As far as like
Look,
what they're
I don't think.
contributing to your lineup, you can
Yeah,
send him A.O. Manor if that makes it a 2-for-1 in your favor. If he
yeah.
doesn't want to do that, then can you make this a 2-for-2 where you send away Chase Brown and get back Judkins or something? So Ibuka and Chase Brown for Genty and Judkins. I think there's 2 counters there that make more sense for you.
Samuel says, I have depth to give, but Henry's the guy I want. Can I trust him? But can I trust London or Brown? So you're sending away Chase Brown and London, receiving Derek and Shakira. There's a pretty significant down tier to Shakira from London.
Yeah.
Now, I do think Chase Brown is going to be better. I guess my question would be, what's your wide receiver room look like? Because I'm going to imagine Drake London is your wide receiver 1. Yeah, he is your wide receiver 1 here. You have Garrett Wilson, Zay Flowers. You have enough running back here to kind of play this differently. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, I think you have. I don't think you need to do this trade.
Yeah.
Because your wide receiver 1 is gonna be Garrett Wilson if you do this.
Yeah.
Now this is a start 9.
That's what makes it hard because you need quality players in your lineup.
But he has quality running backs. He has Quinshon, he has Jordan Mason. If anything, maybe after this week, sell Jordan Mason.
He needs to be strong at wide receiver then. I think you need to keep Chase in London.
Yeah, I would agree.
Sam Bam. Debo for Jordan Love or Daniel Jones in the super flex. Okay, so you can get one of them. Well, I prefer Jordan Love. I think what we're seeing from Daniel Jones could be the truth, but I think we know Jordan Love's in a really good offense.
Yeah, I agree.
But man, if Daniel Jones keeps doing what he's doing, then you definitely could have preferred him. But right now, just limited sample size, I prefer Jordan Love.
Agreed.
Someone sitting away Brian Thomas for AJ Brown. I'll take AJ Brown at this point.
Agreed.
Gomino starting Josh Allen, Walker.
I think he said he didn't submit this.
He might have not submitted this correctly because you've only given us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 starting spots in your lineup.
Now start 8.
So what I would suggest, my friend, we're going to give you a free voucher, but come over here to the My Teams feature, link your team, whether it's Sleeper, ESPN, or Yahoo. And then once you've linked your team, that will make your life easier when you go to do a start sit. It'll automatically link your settings. It'll know your starting lineup capacity. And then, for example, I know I've got Bo Nix, but then go through every position and tell us if you're locked in on a player, if you're considering them. And, the more information you give us, the better we can answer your question. But let's just assume that it's a start 8. So we're starting Allen, Walker, Monty, AJ Brown, Zay Flowers, Laporta, Scattaboo. So that makes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And you need to start one between Monty, Flowers, and Johnston, which for me would probably be Zay.
I would agree.
But it's close.
They should have a bounce back game
Vogie.
if he is really the guy.
Starting Kyler, Allen, Scattaboo, Judkins, Egbuka, Sutton, McBride, and now Jamison Williams. Would you start Jamison Williams or Chase Brown this week, or DK Metcalf? Jamison's boom bust, so
Jameson is boom bust. I mean, it depends on how you feel about Chase Brown. I mean, technically, Chase Brown is the safer floor, which sounds crazy because you hope for those touches, but I would just go JMO with the high upside.
Yeah, I have Metcalf ranked higher, but I think Jameson has a higher ceiling, lower floor. So it depends on how you want to play this. I think oddly enough, I am more excited about Chase Brown than any of these names, but
come on, talk him up. He's gonna be better. I need him to be better.
JMO is the ultimate boom bust play. So I think Metcalf is your safest receiver, but Jameson's the higher upside. Caleb, James, Bijan, AJ Brown at wide receiver 2. Probably Keenan at this point. Well, hopefully you started Marvin. If you didn't, Keenan, let's just assume he didn't play Marvin.
I don't think and then I'll do Quinshon.
Quinshon in the flex.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's where I would
probably. Randy, what's up, Randy?
Randy Dan. You are sending away Brees Hall, Lat McConkey, and Tyler Warren. This is Dynasty. Receiving Swift, Rome, Brock Bowers in a 26th third. So
is Brock Bowers the next Sam Laporta, where you're like, wow, look at what he did as a rookie, and now new coaching staff, and you're like, oh. No, I think he bounces back. But
I think he does bounce back.
At the same time,
question,
I don't like the Swift in the third part of this deal.
Yeah, my question here would be, okay, are you up tiering? Very minimal up tier, I would say, in Tyler Warren and Brock Bowers and Ladd and Rome, but you're down tiering from Breeze to Swift. Now, would you do this trade if that third was a second?
I want to remove the third and Swift entirely and make it something else. So if we look at that trade, like, I don't really want Swift or a third. I just don't want those to be a part of a trade. So does that give you the right to ask for a first and you send a third back? I don't know. You let me know. That would be my ideal trade. If you can't get that done, can you get a Henry involved and remove the third and Swift? Can you get, I mean, if you're competing, can you get McCaffrey and then send a second in the future? Hopefully 2026, but okay.
Yeah.
Well, let me don't send the second and a third. I'm only trying to submit a second there, but I just don't want Swift in the third, so I want to change that part of the trade.
Appreciate you, Randy.
The Beast 3-3 half PPR trading CMC manager, trading with CMC manager, many injuries. So he is sending away Purdy, Brian, Rasheed for Justin, Tillman, and Tyreek. I don't see a reason to make this trade if you're 3-3. I understand, you might need help, but you can start Purdy. You don't have to start Fields. Brian and Cedric Tillman should not be a part of your starting lineup anyway. And then Rasheed Rice for Tyreek Hill. Even right now, as much like Tyreek Hill is playing fine, but you're selling way too low on Rasheed Rice. When Rasheed Rice is back from injury, he's going to be a top 10 wide receiver in everyone's rankings. And I would not be shocked if in week 10 he's a top 5 receiver rest of the way. So I think you're underselling Rasheed Rice here pretty heavily.
I agree.
Yeah, like ask for Egbuka instead of Tyreek. That makes that trade easier.
Yeah.
Get something actually attractive. Maybe JSN off a bad week if you want to do that next week. But right now, it's a pass for me.
Cody, it says tough matchup for Baker.
Sorry, Rice is suspended, not injured. Yep, we're all on the same page there. Just
tough matchup for Baker. Should I pick Drake/Caleb? I'll be okay picking up Drake this week and starting him over Baker. But if you can't, that's totally okay. So Baker, Bucky, Bijan, Puka, Rome, Tucker Craft. This is going to be Ted and Devontae. Those are the two guys I'm going to be starting.
Yeah, I agree. Will be interesting because Christian Gonzalez is going to be back, it sounds like. So that secondary is going to be much more formidable in New England. That's a little bit scary for me, but I am going to trust those two names.
PvP, sending away Jordan Mason, Rome Odunze for Josh Jacobs and Garrett Wilson. I just want Rome. I don't want to give away Rome Odunze here. And I understand getting Josh Jacobs because he's a more solidified guy long term.
I like this buy because Jacobs' schedule is about to get real nice. So he's got a string of matchups here that look nasty. He's got Dallas this week, Cincinnati, Arizona. Arizona's not a great matchup, but Cincinnati, Arizona, Pittsburgh, Carolina, the Giants. Some really good matchups upcoming. So I think this is a good time to buy Josh Jacobs. I think he's going to have much better games ahead. I'm fine with this.
Yeah. Quentin Johnston, London, Pickens, and Buka need two to bench. He needs to bench 2. I mean, it would be... I wouldn't be starting Pickens then.
Yeah, it'd be Pickens and Johnston I would bench.
Yeah.
Vengeful heartache. He's sending away Kamara and Pickens for Henderson and London. I'm fine with this.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm fine. I think you're buying low on Henderson. I'd love for I'd love for Thomas to reply to any message and, come on, bro. Come on. All right.
Thomas
Addy, 1988 is sending away Judkins and Neighbors for Bucky, Devonta, London. It's a start 10. Dynasty League. No, I don't really want.
Yeah, my initial thought is no.
Dynasty. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, Judkins is just the truth.
If you look at this trade, the reason that you would do this trade is because of Devonta Smith, quote unquote, right? I'm not going to do that trade because of Devonta Smith in Dynasty.
I agree.
Boomer says have Chase Brown. Sorry, try.
Scary Terry.
Rice,
Worthy.
Okay.
I would imagine. Rice, Worthy, Kittle 1 and 2. So you're sending away Saquon and receiving Brees and Zay. So you need wide receiver because you had Terry, Rice, Worthy, who all didn't play.
I don't mind if you need to tear off of Saquon, but this is a terrible tear off in my opinion.
It is. Yeah. You don't have your team link, unfortunately.
No team links. We can't really give a counter. But if I'm selling Saquon, then I'm getting Bucky Irving and I guess like Ibuka, Bucky Irving, Tet McMillan. This is not enough. Brees and Zay is not enough for me. You're underselling Saquon.
I completely agree there. Do not do that. Toe time.
Mm-hmm.
At the quarterback, it's going to be, I think I have Bo Nix this week over Daniel Jones, Jonathan Taylor. For me, I have Quinshawn over Etienne. I'm not sure how you feel about that.
Let me double check because it might be. It's close. I have Etienne, but we'll look at our options. At wide receiver 2.
It's going to be Cortland.
Yep.
And then at the flex, it can be Etienne.
Yeah, at the flex, here's where we're going to look at this slightly differently. I think Dobbins is a must-play versus the Bengals. So that makes Judkins a sit for me. I don't want to sit him, but you just have too many great options.
Yeah, definitely have to consolidate this team. And you have Ladd on the bench. Michael Pittman on the bench there. And then one of these running backs are constantly on the bench. And Judkins, JK. If you can sell maybe JK before something bad happens.
What does that mean?
I'm just saying, like in general, like if people are wanting to trade away JK,
JK's
Archie Harvey is going to come through, or he's always injured. That's all I'm saying.
Drake May at quarterback here for Pizza Fish. Then at the flex spot between T-Mac, Henderson, Judkins, we're going T-Mac, right? We said that earlier, so I just want to stay consistent. Although Judkins is a great option too, and this lineup is looking really nice. All right, let me refresh here.
Dan, I see you next. Dan V.
Anybody watching Gen V out there? Just me and my wife. As for me,
I like it. I haven't watched it. I haven't watched the second season, but
pretty good.
I love the Gen, like that whole universe.
Same, so good. Hey guys, if you want to enter today's giveaway, all you got to do is type a Wahoo Wah in the chat. Shout out to UVA and like the stream. Once we hit 75 likes, we'll do some giveaways here. Appreciate y'all. Dan is at quarterback going to start Drake May. Then Jacobs, Kyron, Egbuka, Collins, McBride at the flex spot. Hard to sit Garrett Wilson right now. I'm going to play Garrett. Hard to sit Mason too.
And he also has Tet as well.
Yeah.
I do have Garrett over Tet this week, so I'm right there with you. Bryson is a team review, so we'll get to that. Brandon here. At the quarterback position, Herbert or May? I think I have. I know this one's close because Herbert plays the Giants. I have Justin Herbert.
Yeah, I'm going May. Faces Carolina. I just think they might not need to throw the ball against the Giants. Yeah. At wide receiver, you got to start Jefferson. I know it's been tough, but at the flex spot, so many great options here.
What?
Wow. I guess Etienne.
That's crazy. Well, for me, this would be Mason.
Yeah.
Over Etienne.
I have them in the same tier. They're only a couple spots apart, so you're kind of pulling hairs there with these 8-team leagues. But I'd love to start Pearsall. I'm starting Pearsall over Brian Thomas, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't see that. I would agree there. So Ricky JJ at the wide receiver spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Zach is going to ET and I am going Mason.
It's been reported that Terry's out, right?
Yes.
Just updating my rankings on the back end. That doesn't really change the way I view Debo with Marcus Mariota anyway, but just want to make sure.
He didn't really give us confidence last week with not really doing anything.
I just think they actually changed the game plan to be even more run heavy. It just wasn't valuable to most players.
Yeah.
All right, so Jeff is starting Goff, Cook, Henry, London, Smith, Kraft, Javonte. I would start Dobbins over Javonte this week versus Cincinnati. That would be the main change.
Yeah, I'm there with you. I have JK over Javonte as well. Tough matchup for Javonte.
Between Pittman and Devonta, it's very close. I do slightly lean Devonta, but yeah, that's how we'd set it.
I'm going Devonta Smith there.
Elijah,
you're sending away George Pickens for Travion Henderson. I'm okay with this if you have the depth at wide receiver. George Pickens is currently a wide receiver 4. You have Chris Godwin coming back.
I would say he probably needs to make this trade with Caleb Johnson as his RB3. Yeah. I think it's a good buy low on Henderson. Pickens is going to be valuable. He's going to be good. But I'm actually slightly worried about what that will look like without CD. We'll see. Mr. Filthy Wubs. Allen, Gibbs, Dobbins, Wilson at wide receiver between Debo and Ladd.
It's going to be Ladd for me still.
Yeah, they're back-to-back, but I am going to lean Ladd. And at running back, Judkins.
Yeah, let's look at starting Keenan Allen and Ladd.
Yeah.
But I'm there with you.
At least if you start both of them, you'll get the touchdowns, right? Drake May for me versus Carolina, Tristan, but Badaki's going Herbert with the Giants. I'm going to go Herbert. I just have been concerned that they might not need to throw the ball against the Giants. Hampton, Judkins, Kyron. I think let's just agree.
We should come back to that.
Yeah, we should. We should come back to that because he's going to start them in his flex most likely. So
yeah,
Sutton,
at the wide receivers, it would be Sutton and Tet, right?
Mm-hmm. At tight end, awesome. Bowers. That's tough, but this is where you probably put Kyron at the flex, Judkins at the flex, and you start Hampton at RB.
Yeah, I think that's a good medium there.
Yeah.
AB, you're sending away Tyreek Hill and receiving Zay Flowers and Tony Pollard.
Yeah.
Dynasty quarterback.
I prefer Zay over Tyreek by a bajillion miles in Dynasty, so this is easy in Dynasty. Yeah.
Completely agree. Reese, Sal. It says sending away Tyler Warren, Nico Collins, and they're getting Sam Laporta and Malik Neighbors. I mean,
I view Nico and Malik very similarly. They're both very valuable in my mind.
This is why I hesitated. I mean, I still want Tyler Warren over Sam Laporta.
Yeah, I think that's where the disconnect is.
Yeah, I definitely want Malik over Nico, and I agree that they're in that similar tier. This is redraft, though, so I think I would just say, in my eyes, this is an even trade. I think Sam Laporta is doing just enough to just say, you know what, I'm okay with it. I think Malik Neighbors has a crazy upside.
Yeah, I feel the same way about Nico. That's what's tough.
Yeah.
I think this is even. This is about dead even. I don't have a strong opinion on it, but from a value perspective, even. Bone says 1 and 2 full PPR, RB2 and flex play. What are my thoughts? So Daniel Jones at RB2. I'm gonna go Judkins here.
Agreed.
At the flex, you have so many good options. That's not fun each week to have to deal with these decisions.
I mean, I'm probably just gonna go Ashton Genty still, but I know we had the conversation earlier.
It's a good matchup to get right
in the week. Yeah, we had the matchup earlier in the week, or the conversation, of Ashton Genty or Cam Scatterboot.
I still lean Genty, but it's close, and I wouldn't be surprised if we change our mind after this week.
Yeah, I'm there with you.
Delicious. I guess I don't know what the question is necessarily here, but I guess do we pick one of these names? Maybe is that what you think they're trying to say?
If we're picking one, like in order is Tet. I think it's Tet, Cam, and Javonte. I need to triple check where Javonte and Cam are for me, but I'm pretty sure it's Tet, Cam, Javonte. Yeah, I have Cam higher than Javonte this week.
Yep. I've made that change recently as well. So.
Yeah. AC 3-0. Not sure if I'm giving too much for Rice / Bucky.
Okay,
so you're sending away
Etienne, Brown, Ridley, McMillan to get Bucky, Rice. Okay.
I guess Stephon.
Let's just call it what it is. Let's look at a counter and remove the bullshit. So let's remove Ridley. Let's remove Diggs. Those names don't really matter in fantasy football right now. This is really what the trade is. Etienne, Bucky. I like the upgrade. Chase Brown to Rice is nice, but going from T-Mac to Kincaid is where you're really hurting.
I guess I don't really want, in a structure like this, I don't think I want Kincaid. I think if I'm looking at your team correctly, you have Juwan Johnson and David Njoku. Maybe we can get better depth at the wide receiver position or running back position there still with Rashee Rice and Bucky Irving, right? Like, can you get Cam back? Can you get a JCM back
instead of Kincaid?
Can you get you're 0-3, you're 3-0, excuse me. Can you risk it with a Mike Evans?
Right.
Can you squeeze Mike in there? Like, that feels better than getting Kincaid back.
Yeah, I like the Scattaboo idea as a counter. Mick, start sit. At quarterback, it's Fields, Bijan, Benson, Neighbors, McMillan, London, McBride. At the flex spot, I feel as if it's Pickens of all those names.
Let me just
Twitter version. Trey Benson first start thoughts. Twitter version.
They were down early. He ran the ball well.
Yeah.
They don't run the ball enough.
He looked great. That's the takeaway.
Yeah, he looked good. They need to run the ball more. I feel like every time they ran the ball, he was getting, 4 yards per carry. It kind of felt like. I think he was averaging around there. Yeah, just over 4 yards per carry, and he only had 8 attempts. I get they were down, but keep running the ball.
Yeah. I was a little bit hesitant to start him this week. I just wanted to see it first. I think I have more confidence in him moving forward, oddly enough, even though like DeMarcado is going to play a role. That's what you really didn't want to see. He's going to play a role on third downs, 2-minute situations. But F8 Finesser sends away Henderson, Judkins, Egbuka, Addison for Malik and T-Mac. I don't see a reason. I guess a reason you make this trade is because Malik, but
this is a start 9, so this is deep. You're sending away a lot here.
All of these are startable names.
Yeah. I feel like it needs to be, you need to get a small piece back in return then. Like, can you squeeze Chase Brown into that with the concern? Right? Like,
Kamara, Chase Brown.
Yeah, Alvin. I think those are the two guys that I would want. Yeah, Debo as well. I think I would like Debo. Yeah. If you need help at tight end, which you kind of do. Like, you have Brenton Strange and Dallas Goedert. I'll be okay with any of those tight ends as well. If you can get any of those guys there.
Yeah.
So.
Overall, I probably prefer the side that you're sitting away because there's so much potential for all these guys to be better. And I guess the same with T-Mac. But Henderson should improve. Judkins, Egbuka, these guys should all be even better. But if you can make it a 3 for 4 like we've talked about, we're more interested.
Yeah. Evan. Caleb, Marion, Alvin, Tyreek, Jamar Chase, Kyle Pitts.
Considering Sutton and Javonte here, I would lean Sutton this week.
It would be Sutton as well. Yep, I'm there with you.
We'll look at those team reviews later. Deathhammer says, my RBs are Gibbs, Brown, JCM, tight end is McBride. He sends away Kraft for Warren.
I feel like you should get more for Tucker.
I think this is pretty even.
You think so? Like, I wonder, okay. Like, my first name that came to mind is, like, Ashton, but, like, I feel like people trust Warren more than Ashton right now. But he has the higher upside. But I understand.
Yeah. I think this is fairly even, but yeah, sure. If you want to shoot for a higher upside and name, and you can grab Ashton Genty or
A Quinshawn. I wonder if
Kyron
if you can do
Quinshawn,
Quinshawn. Yeah,
Javante
that kind of
even,
feels better.
Henderson, but I think this is fairly even.
Bit of Hornet sitting away Isaiah Pacheco, Jamison Williams for Brian Thomas. I mean, let's just take it as it is. Jamison Williams or Brian Thomas, and
The thing is, I have no interest in Pacheco at all. Funnily enough, me and Bush talked about a trade. We're playing each other. He's like, you don't have interest in Pacheco? I said, brother, I would pay you Fab to not trade for Pacheco. I don't want Pacheco. So it's really Jamison or Brian Thomas here. That's the way I view this. Like, Pacheco doesn't really play a big part.
I think, like I've been saying all week, this is the last week for Brian Thomas. If he doesn't have like even a Martin Harrison performance, Martin Harrison, 6 out of 10, had over 18 fantasy points. Like, that's what I'm expecting. I think 10 points still disappointing. 11 points disappointing. Like,
so yeah, this is the interesting part about this question, because Jamison is boom bust, but there's boom in there. We haven't seen that with Brian Thomas yet this year, but I believe it's coming. I still prefer Brian Thomas overall over Jamison.
I agree,
but it's very close. I need to change that in my rankings if it doesn't reflect.
I just feel like yeah. I think right now, even though you have Pacheco, yeah, I don't know how to say it any differently. This is the last week for Brian. I have Brian Thomas in some of the redraft leagues that we're in, and I'm already looking to sell for anything. I'd rather have Keenan Allen.
Would you rather have Jamison then?
I would rather have Jamison, yeah,
than Brian Thomas. Well, then you wouldn't make that trade. I would just, maybe that's because I own Jamison Williams, so I've experienced it. Funnily enough, I went to Nick, our editor, who in the Flock League has Brian Thomas, and I said, you want to swap? Just maybe the grass is greener for both of us. We both drafted players that are disappointing. Jamison and Brian Thomas. I said, do you want to just swap? Just see what happens. Maybe it sparks both of them. And he wasn't interested, but I don't have a strong opinion. I tried to sell for
Brian Thomas last week.
Yeah. I'm going to go Dobbins in the RB2 spot here for your what hurts. At wide receiver, T-Mac. Then at flex, Scat, Kamara. Interesting, Hubbard. Are you starting Scat over Kamara Hubbard?
I'm just pulling it up here at the running back.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I
currently have Cam one spot ahead of Alvin, just based off matchup.
Yeah.
Like, those guys in the same tier. Alvin had like a disappointing week last week, if I'm not mistaken. 6 points last week, but still 18 attempts. It was just really bad. It was what was also frustrating is that they didn't use him in the air the way I expected. Like, you thought that was a perfect game script for Alvin, being down early and often, dump off passes, but it just wasn't the case, unfortunately.
No, Kellen Moore is really frustrating. I'm fine with this. I don't have a strong opinion. Those guys are all in the same tier for me. They're all in the same tier. I think Alvin's safer than all those other names, but I think Scatterboo has higher upside. Brins is Ableton. They receive Love, Pittman, Bowers. They send away Daniels, Godwin, Laporta. So they send away Love, Pittman, Bowers.
I guess the way I see this is Godwin going to be good?
You're upgrading to quarterback and downgrading from tight end.
Yeah.
I'd rather be stronger at tight end, so I'm gonna keep the Bauer side of this.
Yeah.
But it's not close. That's an even trade. It honestly is.
Yeah. Not that big a difference in a points per game perspective in tight end.
Yeah. Back-to-back Cobra. Top Qs. Best tight end. Lean to Jawan and Flex. Lean to Scat. Let's see.
Top question, best tight end lean. Okay, well, I'm gonna start at the wide receiver position. Tyreek Hill or Quentin.
Great options.
It is great options,
I
which is
lean
funny to
Tyreek.
say. I do have Tyreek over Quentin as well. At the tight end, Dalton, Sam, Juwan Johnson, and I think this is.
For me, it's Juwan Johnson.
Yeah, Juwan just has the script where he technically needs to score.
And then at the flex spot between Scadaboo and Johnston.
I'm okay with putting Cam in there.
Yeah,
I think both is going to be great, but
yeah. Saucy Squid at quarterback. We're starting Daniel Jones. At running back, I think Judkins is your best option there. At flex, I'm probably putting between Ginty and Pearsall.
And Ricky, yeah. I think Brock Purdy's back as well this week, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to go Ricky.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Unexplained said, hey, Zach and Padaki, who should I start this week? So he's got May Saquon at RB2. Well, I'm guessing you didn't start Benson, so we'll put Hampton there. At wide receiver, Egbuka's a lock. London to lock, I know it's not been great, but then probably T-Mac. Those would be the three. And then at the flex spot, I'm going to say Pearsall.
Yeah, Henderson, Ladd, or Pearsall is going to be Ricky over Ladd for me. That's where I'm at.
It's so close, though. Like, Ladd and Pearsall in the same tier for me. Very difficult decisions to make there. Hopefully that's helpful.
Pocket is sending
Bush.
away. You see Bush. Okay, so let me refresh that.
That's okay. Bo Nix at quarterback. At running back, I like Dobbins over Hubbard this week. At the flex spot, I would say Hubbard is your best option here. It looks like he's going to play too, which is great. We weren't sure for a while there. And selfishly, I was hoping he wasn't because I picked up Rico Dowdle in the Flock League. And it looks like it didn't mean anything. Pocket aces, go ahead.
Yeah, pocket. Jalen Warren, DJ Moore, Tyreek Hill. You're sending away for Justin Jefferson, Calvin, and Diami. I mean, let's take Calvin and Diami out here.
Well, yeah, exactly. You're just getting Justin Jefferson. Diami and Ridley don't mean anything in this trade.
Yeah, I mean,
I love Jefferson, but this isn't the year where I'm like sending the house for him. So
for him, yeah, exactly.
Probably not.
Yeah, I'm not doing it.
Maybe you can counter and yeah, this guy's team sucks. So
he has nothing.
Yeah,
he literally has nothing. I mean, I doubt unless you can get Garrett Wilson and Justin Jefferson, but I doubt that person's gonna do that.
Yeah, that is the counter, right? You remove Ridley and Diami entirely and make it Jefferson, Garrett, but they're not gonna do that.
Yeah, I agree.
Cadester, he would send Benson for Brown. I preferred Benson before Thursday Night Football. I prefer Benson after Thursday Night Football still. But it's close.
I'm there. It is very close.
Tony Soprano is starting Jones, then Taylor, Henry,
Derek,
Rome,
Nico, Trey McBride there, and then I think it's going to be Quinshawn and then Ladd for me.
Quinshawn and Ladd. Yes, we're on the same page there. Thanks for the question. Enchanting Ad says, didn't start Marv, unfortunately, tight end and flex. Okay. So at tight end, between Ferguson and Kraft, I have them in the same tier. I slightly lean Ferguson. I'll tell you why. Yeah. My tight end 3 versus tight end 4. For Kraft, it's going to have to come within the flow of the game. There's not going to be a scenario where they're down in the game and it's garbage time. And it's like, oh, here comes Kraft. Here comes the dump offs, right? For Ferguson, you're almost banking on it coming in garbage time. There's no one else to throw the ball to outside of Pickens and Ferguson. So I would lean Jake Ferguson there in a high over-under. And then in the flex spot, Pearsall is my favorite option, I would say.
I agree.
Awesome.
Big boy at the... Okay, so Allen, Mason, Hampton, London. I then see Quentin Johnston there. we're probably going to put George Pickens in that flex. I'm going to start TJ Hawkinson. Then it's going to be, wow, a lot of options. Debo, George, Chase Brown, Henderson.
So I'll put Pickens in. I want to say Debo, but I just don't know how much they'll throw the ball.
For me, it just feels like Travion over.
Travion's risky. I would go. I don't know. I know it sounds silly saying that and then telling you to start Chase Brown, but Chase Brown would be my preferred option here.
I'm just triple checking.
I think that offense is going to be much better than people, are. I thought the underreaction to Joe Burrow was too much. I think the overreaction to the first start for Jake Browning is too much. I think it's going to be somewhere in the middle, more than likely. So I'm going to go Chase Brown. It's not a terrible matchup versus the Broncos. I know it sounds like it is, but it's really not.
Yeah, it's a risky start for sure. I said, need some help with my flex. Appreciate you, fellas. Okay. It's going to be Travis Etienne.
Of all the options, yeah, Etienne's the clear answer there. Now, anything can happen. It could be a lad blow-up game, but right now, Etienne's had more inbuilt trust of all these names.
Yeah, I would
Thanks,
agree.
Farouk.
And next one here, another star.
By the way, just an update for everybody here in the chat. Appreciate y'all for being here with us. We're going to do a giveaway at 75 likes. All you have to do to enter is like the stream and type Wahoo Wah into the chat. That's as simple as it gets. So we're getting very close. Appreciate y'all for being here with us as well. We are answering all the questions on the Flock Fantasy site. Little cheat code, by the way, in case you weren't aware. The 2025 season pass, which, by the way, use our code LAND, L-A-N-D, if you buy it. We'll be looking at your team if you do, looking at your questions if you do. Still available, $34 one-time purchase. You get unlimited access to all of our rest of season rankings, weekly rankings, all the premium tools on the Flock site, access for the entire season. So that is a little bit of cheat code for you if you haven't heard of it yet. But make sure you use the code LAND here. Skyro is saying, should I add T Alave? Starting T isn't fun. Yeah. This is Dynasty, though. This is Dynasty. So T Higgins is going to be better. He's still a hold as a Dynasty asset. But losing Rice is going to be difficult. But gaining Hampton is really fun.
Yeah, look.
I think this is pretty even.
I would still want Rice and T.
Yeah.
In the long term, I think you're going to be able to sell T later. Like when Joe Burrow's back and T has a year like the way he finished last year, I think you're going to be like, damn, I wish I still had T Higgins if all is well next year.
I'm not sure you're going to be able to sell Higgins for much more.
No, look, it won't be much more because I think people are going to have the hesitation, just like every year. Is he going to stay healthy again? Like, I think that whole cycle conversation, how can we trust T. Higgins or Jamar Chase? They're going to fall. Is Joe Burrow going to stay healthy? He's going to get hurt. He's constantly injury prone. I think that conversation that whole cycle is going to happen. And I think at the end of the day, T. Higgins is still not going to be more valuable, but I think Rice is technically more valuable than Omarion once he's on the field at the end of this year.
I'm curious if you could add like a Bryce Young, JJ McCarthy swap in this trade. That would be enough for me to do it for sure. But if not, maybe ask for like a second round pick in value to make this deal. You don't want to give up on Rice too early, but you also don't want to underreact to how good Hampton can be this year without Najee. I mean, he could skyrocket in Dynasty opinion, Dynasty consensus, if that makes sense. So Skyro, we just spent a bunch of time answering this question, so go back and check out the answer. But we had a couple ideas. One was adding a swap of Bryce and JJ McCarthy, but appreciate you, man. Just scroll back to the time code. We talked about this question. CJ Hewitt, 14, is starting Lamar, Benson, Jacobs, AJ Brown, Nico. At wide receiver,
Adams.
Wow. Adams has to play. Then at the flex, jeez Louise. Etienne probably.
Between Etienne and Keenan. I'm gonna go Etienne there as well.
Yeah,
it's very close with Keenan.
Too many options that are very similar. Ideally, you consolidate there. But Bruins Raven says, should I trade Chase and Hunt for Hall and Olave? What Chase is that? Jamar Chase and Kareem Hunt for Breece Hall and Chris Olave?
Chase Brown.
Is that
and
Chase
Kareem
Brown
Hunt.
and Kareem Hunt?
Yeah, I would say if this is Jamar Chase, I would still hold off. If this is Chase Brown, I'm okay to go for Olave and Hall.
Yeah.
Just because I think Jamar Chase is going to be better. And I know Kareem Hunt in this deal is kind of irrelevant. But if it's Chase Brown, I think Chase Brown and Breece Hall's rest of season outlook is similar. And then you're getting an upgrade at a significant upgrade from Hunt to Olave. So that's how I'm reading that.
I agree with Badaki there. Pedro, and we've hit our like goal. So there's currently 54 entries. All right, 55 now. All you got to do to enter is like the stream and type Wahoo Wah, by the way, into the chat. And after, we'll do a couple more questions and then we'll do the first giveaway here if you want to be a part of it. Pedro is starting Jones, Jacobs, Cook, Myers, Jefferson, Kraft, Kyron at the flex spot. Probably
I think
Zay.
this is going to be Zay Flowers for me. I think you have a better game. I think they're going to get him more involved. I think that was a big emphasis of probably why they weren't as successful last week. I'm going to go Zay Flowers here.
Yeah,
sure.
and I am starting Jacoby over DK as well. Just had to double check that, but
yep.
I just prefer Jacoby in that matchup versus the Bears a little bit more.
Atomic. It's going to be, I think it's, wow, this one we haven't had. I'm pretty sure it's going to be Daniel Jones. Let me just triple check.
Right.
I do have Daniel Jones over Justin Fields this week.
I don't blame anyone for making that decision. They're back-to-back in my rankings. I do lean Fields versus Miami. Just that matchup is too juicy to give up on for me.
Yeah.
Although I love the over-under of the Jones matchup, so you can go either way, really. At the flex spot, I think I'm more and more settling into Scattaboo.
Yeah.
Between all the options that people have.
I would agree. Waddle's interesting. I think Waddle has been better. I think the Jets are an interesting defense.
Yeah.
He's just been finding the end on the past couple weeks, so I wonder if that happens again. But anyways.
Yep. Injury prone says streaming Geno makes me want Tucker. Is it a dumb move? So he's streaming Geno, which is a good stream. Jacobs, Mason, Puka, Adunze, Jawan, and then at the flex spot, you're basically like, should I start Tucker? I mean, look, in a 10 team, I guess you're making a bet on the Raiders offense. That's a difficult bet to make. It's not much easier to bet on like the Saints offense with Kamara, but I just think Kamara is the most reasonable name to start here, so that's where I would go.
Yeah, I'm going Alvin as well.
But I understand
Chucky.
the bet that you're trying to make there.
Yeah. Chuck.
Mm-hmm.
It says, I just made this trade. What do you think? So you sent away Drake, London, Chris Godwin in the 26 mid first. You got CeeDee Lamb and Darnell Mooney.
So basically,
okay
London a
with it.
first for CD in Dynasty. I have no problem with that.
Yeah, that's how I'm seeing it.
Yeah.
I'm okay with this trade.
Obviously, hopefully you can take on the hit of missing Lamb for a little while. But, yeah, I mean, CD Lamb's an elite asset when healthy. So we just have to wait for him to get healthy. I think in Dynasty, that's a pretty fair trade. As long as that first doesn't end up being like top 4 or something, you know.
Bijan, Mustard. This is going to be Justin Herbert over Bo Nix.
So you and I have different opinions on that. Again, just for me,
Yeah.
my concern is maybe Herbert doesn't really need to throw the ball much in that matchup. And I could be an idiot, but I love Bo Nix's matchup versus the Bengals. I also think the Bengals offense will be much better than people give him credit for, so I'll lean Bo Nix there. But great options. I think we would agree on Judkins, though. At wide receiver, we would probably agree on McMillan.
Yep.
And at flex, I am more and more leaning Scattaboo.
I think I had Quinshawn over Scat. Let me just triple check Quinshawn and Scat. I don't think we had that one. I actually have Cam over Quinshawn. So
yeah,
you're correct.
Yeah, just about who's going to touch the ball more, really, in that scenario.
Yeah. And Quinshawn,
by the way,
again, the truth.
Just something. I mean, I am a child, so I find this funny. Not everybody is a child. We are 29 subscribers away from 69K. So if anybody out there hasn't subscribed yet,
Child.
I am a child. And if we get 29 of you to subscribe today, then we could hit 69K on the stream. I am a child.
Hey, we
I
appreciate
apologize. That will be funny, though. Okay, so someone is sending away a Monra for London Rice. It's a 1 quarterback, 12 team start 8. I think if you can afford to wait on the Rice comeback, you haven't linked your team, then I'm like, if you're currently even 2-1, I don't think you can do this. You know what I mean? If you're 2-1, if you're 1-2, you can't make this trade. You probably have to keep him on Raw. But 3-0, I'm not completely opposed to it.
Nah, look, I'm not opposed to it. I just think my concern is London. Like, what's going on there, right? Yeah. They fired their their wide receivers coach. They didn't fire the offensive coordinator. It's been very underwhelming with London, and there were great matchups. Technically, Carolina was a great matchup.
No, it wasn't though. It technically wasn't.
Technically, it wasn't.
I've been trying to tell people that, and they see Carolina and they're like, "That's a good matchup." It's not
for wide
for receivers. You don't ever attack them through the air. You attack them on the ground.
Right. Okay. Well, they were just incredibly bad against Carolina.
Yeah, they were awful
as a team.
Look, if Rasheed Rice was back today, I'm taking this trade. So again, if you can wait on it, I don't have any problem with it.
Yeah, I understand. Bengals fan since 05. Hey, congratulations, it's a long time. Jared Goff, Chuba Hubbard, Bucky Irving, Puka Nacua. Some people in this chat probably weren't even born until
that's what's
05,
crazy.
Which is...
So you know you're getting old because the first time you heard people were born in like 2000 anything, you were like, whoa. And now a vast majority of our audience, not a vast majority, but like probably 20 to 30% of our audience is probably born 2000 or later. That's what's crazy. But he's obviously he's probably been born anyway.
I mean,
okay.
The guy is 20 years old. If he's Bengals since 05.
Well, who knows? Yeah, maybe. Well,
if he's going from his birth.
That would make me a Washington fan since '94.
Yeah, Giants since 93, which is crazy.
Okay.
Anyways, at the flex option here. Yeah, say less.
ETN Pittman. I think Ferguson is interesting.
I would rather start Ferguson over Pittman, actually. You? I would.
Yeah, you can make a case for both of them with the high over under, and Ferguson's probably safer. Okay. Big Tex. I'm from Texas. He says, I don't know on quarterback with Baker's injury. Roll with F Junior or pick shout out up.
Let's start over the trade. Okay, so I don't know on quarterback with Baker's injury. Rolled with F Junior, which is, I'm assuming that's a player, or pick.
Okay, let's just look at his lineup. Okay, so Daniel Jones or Baker Mayfield this week. I'm going Daniel Jones.
Yeah, Daniel Jones. I'm there with you.
He's got Benson, Mason, Adunze, Puka. At tight end, Fannin. And then at flex, Bucky, Kyron. That's great. I'm not going to play any of these names on your bench over those guys.
Yeah, I'm there with
Big Tex. I'm going to play everyone here as you have it. Now, I don't know what F Junior is. Fannin Jr., right? Harold Fannin? Maybe Harold Fannin Jr.?
Yeah.
So, if you have the following options this week at tight end, then I'm interested in them. So, I would start... Where's Fannin?
Dallas Goedert.
I'd start Kelsey, Kincaid, Hawkinson, Jawan, Laporta, Kraft, Warren, Ferguson. This is 2025. This isn't week 4. Give me a second. Sorry. Okay. Where are we at? Fannin. Yeah, so Brenton Strange, you mentioned. Andrews, Ertz, Kelsey, Kincaid, Hawkinson, Henry, Laporta, Warren, Jawan, Kraft. But outside of that, I think you just put it. You put it how it is.
Yeah, I appreciate you, Big Tex. Drippy is next here. Bo Nix, Amarion, Jake Hay, Chase. This would then be Ricky.
Yep.
And then
I
Brees Hall.
Love
Now,
Brees Hall's matchup, so that's where I'm going.
If your name is Rod and like to party, I called Matthew Golden the breakout of the week here.
Yeah.
Great matchup.
Matthew will break out if the Cowboys can make it a game. That's what you have to bank on. I'm going to go Brees Hall there, though. I love his matchup. Yeah. I think he's going to be important no matter what happens. All right, let's refresh here. So we've got a couple more, and then we've got some team reviews we can get to. But we do need to do this giveaway. We said we would do this giveaway. So 64 of you guys entered. All you had to do to enter was like the stream and then type in Wahoo Wah into the chat. Shout out to UVA. So there are 64 entries here. And we're going to give away a start sit to begin. So the start sit voucher. The start sit voucher goes to, looks like Lei Lee. So Lei Lee, all you have to do is DM me on Discord, my friend. And then send me a screenshot of your YouTube account. And then I also need your Flock Fantasy username. Now, if you don't have a Flock Fantasy account yet, this goes to everybody who's watching this stream as well. You can create one for free. I'll put a link in the chat for you right now. Just make sure you use the code LAND, L-A-N-D, at sign up. That way I can find you for our giveaway. And then once you've created an account, you know, you can link your Sleeper, ESPN, Yahoo leagues for free and, you know, view expert consensus on your team. So yeah. And yeah, send me that information. Okay. We're going to go to a trade question voucher. The trade question voucher goes to, oh my gosh. Okay, that's never happened before. You can't win twice though. Sorry, Lay. Let me spin the wheel a little weird there here. Okay, hold on. Let's refresh this app.
Is it tripping?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Trade question voucher. Trade question voucher goes to,
here we go. Trade question voucher. Good luck, good luck, good luck. Here we go.
It looks like it's Vegs _. Same thing, Vegs _. Send me all that information on Discord. Appreciate you. And again, you guys can enter the giveaway by liking the stream and typing Wahoo Wah into the chat. To all of our giveaway winners, I'll look at my DMs after the stream. Deathhammer says he wants a 3-2 trade with Chase involved. I mean, I don't see how you lose this.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Jalen Warren and Kyron Williams, Rasheed Rice. I mean, if you can do that, do that.
I mean,
is this a tight end premium? No, it's not a tight end premium.
Even if this trade was offered and Jalen Warren wasn't involved, I would accept it.
I'm right there with you, bro.
I mean, I might accept this if they had to remove Kyron and it was Jalen and Rice. I'd probably still accept this trade. So if you're telling us you're getting Warren, Williams, Rice, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
But if you're telling us that this is a trade that you're offering, then you could start here and you could settle with one of these two options. Alternatively, if you're saying like, hey, I just need to figure out a trade with him, then maybe it's Warren, Rice, and then you add like a Harvey and send back like a Jerry Jeudy or something. So you've got a couple options there. Hopefully that's helpful. CJ Hewitt, shout out to the boys. He wants Devontae and another piece. I have Brian Robinson maybe, or Brian Thomas. I don't know. Brian Robinson as CMC's handicap to sweeten the deal. Okay. So you are, I'm guessing.
He has Devontae Adams on his team, so he is 2-4 till week 7.
If he wants Devontae another piece, can you make it Adams and Brian Robinson and get James Cook?
Yeah, that's probably that's what I would do. I mean, I would even do Devontae Adams and Swift, and then maybe you can get a really small piece back. Like, you might as well, if you wanted to wait on like the Elix and see how he goes, or like the Tyrones and put him on your IR. I would do something like that because I think James Cook is pretty significant here. Devontae Adams, and you're gonna get Rice back as well, and you have Keenan and Quinton. Like, I'm happy to do Swift there.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Appreciate you, man. Shout out to you. Shout out to you, my dude. Shout out to you. All right, we had a couple other questions submitted. Oh, just one here from V-Rods. He says, need some help on wide receivers. He's starting Lamar, Mason, Hampton, T-Mac, Pearsall at tight end, and Joku. Need some help on wide receiver. Okay, well, did you start Benson or not? I don't know. If you did start Benson, maybe Kamara's a better. If you haven't, then you would play Kamara.
Yeah, Kamara.
But
exactly.
at receiver, between Pickens and Pearsall, it's actually very close.
For me, I'm pretty sure it's Ricky. I'll triple check.
Yeah, I have them ranked back to back with my latest rankings today, and I do lean Ricky.
And Ricky is for me, please.
Yes, I lean Ricky as well. Okay, I think we do have some team reviews on the site, which we'll get to. But for the first time in a long time, I think we have time to answer like 5 questions at random in the chat, if you're cool with that.
Yeah, let's do it. Hey,
so we haven't had
take your time
to do that in a long time. It's been a long stream, so or
how good is
long time since we've had a stream like that. So, here's what we'll do. We'll answer 5 questions at random. Just be aware that if you want to prioritize your question, you want a guaranteed reply, there's no pressure to do this, but you can do that through the Flock site, okay, with the link that's pinned in the chat. Now, I'll put that in there one more time for you guys in case you missed it. But let's answer 5 questions at random here. And let's start with TG. He says, should we be afraid of the shadow on Ibuka this week? Pearsall is backup option, so trying to decide between the two. I definitely understand the question, but I'm not sitting Ibuka. Not in a high-powered offense.
Yeah, I understand it, but
Ibuka's going to play inside-outside. Godwin being healthy is going to help. Tristan Wirfs being healthy is going to help. And, you know, I'm more concerned about... I would be more concerned about a Mike Evans if Mike Evans was healthy because their boundary corners are really good. You don't sit Ibuka, in my opinion, but... what's up, Big Tex?
Chris Godwin is going to go on the outside rather than Ibuka, but
he could,
we'll see.
Yeah.
I doubt it, though. Yeah.
No need to say sorry, Big Tex. Okay, let's see. That's 1 out of 5. We've got Goose the Dog, who says start 3, Sutton, Myers, T-Mac, London, and I could put Judkins in my flex. Okay.
Start 3. So it'll be Sutton, T-Mac, London. But then you're also considering Judkins, or you're just saying you put him in the flex. So if you could start 3 wide receivers, for me it'll be Sutton, T-Mac, London with Judkins in the flex. But if I had to choose
3 players,
it would be Sutton for sure. I need to triple check with T-Mac and London, which I currently have London over. So it would be Sutton, London, then Judkins. Because I would like Judkins in that lineup there.
I'm fine with that answer. John has a great question. I don't know if you want to reply to this one.
I don't want to talk about it. I really don't.
Yeah.
I mean, what more can I do? I feel like I've done everything right. Joe Burrow goes down. Limits my upside with Chase Brown.
Yeah.
I feel like the only
getting
place
Joe Burrow
I went
and
wrong,
Chase Brown was painful this year. That's a painful decision.
That's painful. I feel like the only place I went wrong, genuinely, was probably my tight end in Evan Ingram. I took him in like the 9th round, I think.
What's funny about that is I would have drafted him if you didn't. So you fell on the grenade for me.
I felt like, yeah. I mean, I also would have had Debo if you were like, we were drafting and Zach was like, who, because it was me, Sammy, and then I think Zach, and Zach was like, who you taking?
You said, I'm between Debo and Shakir. I said, lean Shakir.
You said, please don't take Debo.
Yeah.
He's like, I won't be okay. Please don't. I was like, you know what? I'll do it for you. And then I took Shakir.
And then as I'm walking in to make a pick, I asked Sammy, who'd you take? He's like, oh, you're not going to be bothered by this. And he shows me Debo, and I fell to my knees.
That means I would have had Debo Samuel on my team, which would have been so much better, clearly, than Shakira.
Yeah.
But anyways.
All right. Ukoa says 0-3, and I traded CD, Dak, and Downs for Genty, J-Mo, and Drake May. Good trade.
CD, Dak, and Downs for Genty, J-Mo, and Drake May. I mean,
you kind of had to make that trade, unfortunately. Yeah. Is it a good trade? I don't know. I mean, losing CD is tough. It's a good trade if Genty bounces back, for sure. I think you were kind of in an impossible scenario there at 0-3, man. You can't afford to keep CD as an 0-3 team. Pedro says scatter Sutton or Pearsall. I'm going Sutton.
Agreed.
Again, we're just doing this at random, guys. Just at random, we're answering these questions. Isaac says flex Worthy, JCM, Ellick, or Mooney. That's disgusting. What does the chat think?
My highest guy here would be Worthy, and I understand why Zach is not there, but I think he's just, what's crazy to say, he's just on the better team, the better offense. He's playing with Patrick Mahomes. This is a high. Both of these teams are one of these teams is gonna be 1-4. What is it right now?
One and 4. Yeah. 1-3.
One of these teams is gonna be 1-3. Excuse me. So like, I'm still gonna be going Xavier, but like my closest next guy would probably be Ellick. Just he's been performing.
Yeah, I just put a poll in the chat, so you'll have your answer. We'll let people vote. It's drastically changing every second. So vote in the chat for this guy, for Isaac. Let's see. All right, let's answer 2 more here. Devin says Superflex, Bryce or Carson Wentz as a second quarterback. I have no idea. I have no idea what the answer is there. I guess I lean Wentz.
I'm gonna go Bryce, but I understand it.
Yeah, I'm going to lean Wentz just on that offense. The Recover says, how do you guys feel about DK tomorrow? I could start him on or Monty in my flex. I would go Monty there, and I would prefer to sell DK if you can. Check out my latest video. I think DK owners have been, I'm not going to say lucky because they were great plays with those touchdowns, but I think
it could have been worse.
Yeah,
it could have been significantly worse if those touchdowns weren't there to help them.
Yeah, exactly. All right, last one before we go back to the flock site. And let's see. Let's go. Jay Fireball says start 2 Tyreek Tet Egbuka.
It would be Mbuka and Tet, I'm pretty sure, for me. I don't think Tyreek would be in the conversation, especially if Tet is playing.
Yeah,
that's where I'm at currently.
No, overall, I agree with that. By the way, I don't think we're going to hit this today, but I just wanted to give you guys an update. Again, I'm a child and I apologize, but we are currently 22 subscribers away from 69K. I just thought it would be funny if we could do it on this stream. So, look, if you're watching this and you haven't subscribed yet, maybe subscribe. Maybe if we hit 69K, we'll do a giveaway where we give away like 6 vouchers or something. So
yeah, I'm down to it.
If we reach 69K on the stream, we'll do a 6 voucher giveaway.
A 69 voucher giveaway. Gosh, that's too much. Sorry, can't do that.
No, but all you got to do to enter that is number 1, like the stream. Number 2, type in Wahoo Wah, and number 3, subscribe. All right, and then if we reach 69, then we'll do some giveaways. I think that could be funny. Also, I'm a child and I apologize. Y'all know that by now. All right, let's answer some questions on the flock site. Let's see here. Shout out to you guys for prioritizing us on the flock site. Appreciate y'all. So we've got one from Booty Clap King here. He would send away Henderson and Hunter Henry for Drake London. This is a dynasty question. I would view London and Henderson very similarly as assets in dynasty. I think Henderson's going to be better. I think London's going to be better. I probably prefer Drake London in a vacuum.
I do. I prefer Drake London.
Hunter Henry is just, he doesn't really play a big factor for me in dynasty. So I'm pretty indifferent on this trade overall, but I'm fine with the London side.
I completely agree. Next one here, Hurts, Bo Nix, Mason, Omarion Worthy, Jacoby, John and David Montgomery. I don't see anything different. This is a dynasty team, so let's triple check here.
Yeah, would you make any other starts? You're not starting Harvey, Ellick, Diggs over any of these names. Not starting any of those tight ends over Jonnu. Yeah, you have this the way I would have it already as well.
I agree. Murphy says, don't know what to do here. You're sending away Omarion and Debo, receiving JCM, Alvin, and Cortland. I would say I am okay with this. This is a start 7. I like Cortland as a big upgrade to Debo, in my opinion. I think Alvin and Omarion. I think Omarion has a higher upside if he continues to play he did last week. Alvin just feels safer long term, and we're hoping for the JCM breakout. So if you need the depth somehow, some way, I'm okay with it. But this is a start 7.
Yeah, that's my issue with it. Start 7. I don't want to trade for. I just want like Hampton and Debo here. Yeah, Hampton looks like a superstar rest of season without. Because the thing is, like Najee, it made sense for the Chargers as a team to include Najee in the rotation. That just made sense. We don't like it in fantasy, but it makes sense. The same way, and people will hate me saying this, the same way that it makes sense to include Zach Charbonnet in a rotation. But now that Najee's out, it doesn't make sense to force Kamani Vidal or Hassan Haskins into this rotation. Do you know what I mean?
I agree.
So, yeah. I understand the question though. Valuable casement says,
I'll be right back.
Yeah, that's okay. He says this happened. Seems like a clear veto. Do you agree? Well, let me just say before I even answer the question, I'm very much anti-vetoes. You're all big boys. You all make your own decisions. So overall, I'm very much an anti-veto person. So let's look at it. So he sends away Chubb and JSN for Dobbins Olave. Now look. Clearly, JSN is the most valuable piece in this. Clearly, the person who is trading for Dobbins probably doesn't understand that rookies their role increases over the course of the year. So RJ Harvey is going to eat into J.K. Dobbins' role. But I would be upset if this trade happened in my league. But would I be so upset that I force a veto? No. Because, again, we're all big boys and we all make our own decisions. So if Harvey does actually improve his role over the course of the season, then that's a lesson that this guy has to learn, whoever has made this trade. I want JSN pretty significantly. I don't view Chubb as a valuable piece at all, though. So I think the JSN side wins pretty easily, but I don't think this is veto worthy. I'm not going to say it's even, but I don't think it's veto worthy. It has to be very egregious for me to be okay with the veto. Like in my 20, wow, how long have I been playing fantasy football? Probably over 25 years. Yeah. I have like asked for a veto, I think 2 or 3 times. It has to be pretty egregious. I don't overall like going to the veto system. By the way, update, just in case anybody's invested in this, we are currently, oh wow, I didn't think that was going to happen. Okay, 13 subscribers away from 69K. Again, if we reach 69K, we're going to give away six vouchers on the stream. All you have to do to enter is type in Wahoo Wah, that's the code word today, like the stream, and lastly, you should subscribe. Okay, you should subscribe so we can reach 69K on the stream. Yes, I have been playing fantasy. First off, how did you know I was 31 years old, Patel? How did you know that? But yes, my dad introduced me to the game as a little boy. I guess I did say since 94 earlier in the stream, so that makes sense. I did say I was born in 94. No, that is fair. That is fair. All right. We're getting close to 69. We're getting close. Okay. Jersey B with the start sit. He says, think running back heavy is my best option. Do you have trade suggestions? Okay. So running back. Wow. Yeah. Hampton's got to be in play. At wide receiver, you're going to start AJ. Well, I'm guessing you didn't start Marvin if you're asking this question here. I would start Keenan over Brian. Juwan, then in the flex, I think you're rocking with Judkins and Mason. Hard to sit those running backs, but that's the nature of an 8-team league. Now, in any small league like this, 8-team, start whatever, we're always going to suggest to use your depth to trade up, right? So that means using Scattaboo and AJ Brown and trying to go get you know, CeeDee Lamb, not CeeDee Lamb because he's injured, but Amon-Ra St. Brown, you know, those are the type of trades you're trying to do across the board. Can you turn Jawan Johnson and Javonte into Brock Bowers or something? In that small of a league, you're just trying to upgrade across the board. Okay, update, by the way, Badaki. We are currently 11 subscribers away from 60K.
Oh,
or
okay, so
69K.
I'm believing for a giveaway for you guys.
I'm
Come
believing. 11 subscribers away from another giveaway. Okay, we got some team reviews we need to get to. So let's start doing that. Here's the deal, though. If you do have a question that you just really need answered, we're going to keep the questions on for the Flock site, okay? So you can check out that link in the pinned comment. I'll put it in there again for you guys. And again, you can prioritize your question there. Just make sure you submit it with Zach and Badaki from Fantasyland. But we got to get to these team reviews as well. So let's do them. Even if they're Dynasty, it's fine. We can float between them, Dynasty and redraft.
Definitely the first one is Dynasty from Bryson, if you want to do that one first.
Yeah, we can do that.
I put down the redraft one, but I'm going to have to change that. But that playbook is in the redraft folder, and I'll move it after.
Okay.
It says, I don't know what to do with my running backs. I also just traded. Actually, I can't because I need to get the back end, but I'll read it out. It says, I don't know what to do with my running backs. I also just traded Nico for Mbuka plus Charbonnet there.
So are you going to delete that?
Yeah, I'm going to delete it and just do another one. Because
okay, so you're going to go to the Dynasty different. Tab, right?
Yeah, the template's
okay, that's fine. You know, while you're doing that, we'd had a question come in. Like we said, we're going to float between these team reviews and these questions. So let's answer this question from JB here. And it's a start sit. He's starting Caleb, Jordan Mason, Bijan Robinson, AJ Brown, Adunze, Warren, McMillan. And then at the flex spot, tough decision here. Kraft, Higgins, Worthy, Swift. I think I'm going to lean Swift because of the matchup versus the Raiders.
You wouldn't do T? I think I would still go T there.
I'm not.
For me.
I think T's going to be better, but I'm not that interested in starting him. My second option would be Kraft, probably.
Yeah. Which I understand. I think, yeah, like you said, T is going to be better.
Would you start Kraft or Warren, though? Why not just flex both of those guys? Don't get stuck making the wrong decision.
Yeah. I'm okay to start both of those as well. The tight ends.
That's tough. I don't like that. Hopefully you can package Swift, you know, with Jordan Mason in Dynasty and see if you can get an upgrade. But that's the lineup I would probably go with there, my friend. All right, yeah, I think we might have one more question, and then we'll jump into these team reviews. From Namis, he says, currently 1 and 2. Should I do this trade? He sends away Walker and Jameson, as well as Hawkinson for Henderson and McBride. So if you're 1 and 2, it's not like this trade goes through this week, by the way, because McBride already played.
Yeah.
And I don't think this is a net negative or a net positive. Walker, Henderson, I would view them similarly rest of the season. You're basically sending away McBride or Hawkinson and Williams for McBride, which I'm fine with. But again, it's not going to change today or this week because you can't trade for a player that's already played. But
yeah, you can't. I would just say, like, I feel like Travion Henderson is going to be better. I mean, I think that backfield in Seattle is clearly 50-50. It's a split. It's keeping them fresh. Each and every other drive is going to be Kenneth Walker or Zach Charbonnet. I think Travion Henderson gets more workload. Now, the bigger question here is Jameson. Like, I feel like you're giving away Jameson, who is boom or bust. Can we get something small in return? Is that possible?
Yeah. Golden?
Yeah, I'd rather have Golden.
Can you get Golden?
That
makes sense.
I'll take Golden. I'll take a shot with Quentin Johnston there as well.
Johnston people probably prefer him over Jameson right now.
Yeah, that's true.
But even
But
if
that's
you can
kind of
get
where my
Visual
mind's at.
in something small, yeah.
That's where
All
my
right,
mind
let's
goes.
go to Bryson's here. Let's go to his team review.
All right, Bryson, appreciate you. Thank you so much for staying patient. I'll reread this. It says, don't know what to do with my running backs, but I also traded Nico for Mbuka and Sharbs.
I
In
like
a
that. I'm
dynasty
fine with that.
perspective, yeah, I'm okay
It's
with
pretty
that as
close.
well. You currently rank second out of 10. This is a meat and potatoes league here, which I'll put in the chat so you guys can follow. Jaden Daniels, Josh Allen, and JJ McCarthy, phenomenal QB room. In a dynasty perspective, Jonathan Taylor, Quinshawn, Brees, Bashul, Zach Charbonnet, which you no longer, oh no, you do have, excuse me. At the wide receiver position, you could start up to 4 wide receivers, and your starting 4 is Puka, Emeka, Travis, and Ricky. With then Brandon Ayuk, Darnell Mooney on the bench there, and the list goes on with George Kittle, Dalton Kincaid. Great tight end room as well, the way this is kind of panning out. Overall, I think this is a really good team. Obviously, your untouchables is going to be guys like Jaden Daniels, Josh Allen, Puka Nacua. I guess do we put Jonathan Taylor in that the way he's playing, or do we want to put Puka Nacua, or sorry, Emeka and Buka there?
Yeah.
Over Jonathan Taylor. So we'll put Emeka and Buka, especially since you just traded for him. Guys that you're going to be holding right now for the future. I would say Tootin. Continue to hold him. I would say Zach Charbonnet, since you also trade for
Travis
him.
Hunter is worth holding.
Yeah, Travis Hunter.
Not a good sell right now. Deonta Thornton.
And then you can drop a lot of guys. I'm assuming there's no waiver wires because everyone is rostered.
There is.
Oh, right. You just don't have it on
the
your
name that's interesting
option.
to me is Jarquez Hunter. I think Jarquez Hunter and Marshawn Lloyd are 2 names that are worth picking up.
Okay, Marshawn Lloyd. Okay, awesome. So you don't have any draft capital, it looks like, for the next 2 years. That's probably why we're not seeing
draft capital. He has no picks in the next 2 years. Everybody else, you can see their draft picks, so.
Yeah, we're just going to give that an F, of course, and then
when he says give that an F, he's talking about your draft capital grade.
Correct. The overall team grade here is, I think this is a good team. Yeah. I think you are competing. I think this is a lot better than.
So obviously we have to take into account your draft capital, but I think that, like I said, the team's great. I probably put a B+ on this.
Yeah, I'm there with you.
It's an A if you had some draft capital, like some first-round picks, but you're a B+, and I'm gonna say contender, but probably have to go windows open because every move you make, you need to be focused on trying to compete without draft capital moving forward. So you got to keep that in mind. You know,
that's all admin, by the way. So
every week you're trying to win right now. But your starting lineup: Jaden Allen, Josh Allen, Taylor, Judkins, Puka, Egbuka, Kittle when he's back, Brees in the flex, and your last flex is probably Ricky Pearsall right now. That's a good team. You definitely need JJ to be healthy, Kittle to be healthy, and looking at the rookie haul that you've got, I know you traded for Egbuka, but let's just consider this your rookie haul. A-. I like Hunter. Hunter should look. Hunter's going to take longer than I think we anticipated, and we were very honest on our Dynasty channel to tell you guys, hey, you have to know when you draft Travis Hunter, we've never been in this position before where we've had to figure out how much someone's going to play offense or defense. So that's something you have to keep in mind. But I like the haul overall. Now, I don't think you need to make a trade right now. I really don't. But you only need to make a trade if like an injury happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would agree. Now, do we sell high off of some of these players? I mean, you don't have to. Like, you're competing. This is start 9. My initial thought was, can I sell high on the Jawan Johnsons of the world? But like he's startable right now for you because George Kittle is down. That's probably the only name that came to mind. Or like, can I pivot off of Brees after a couple good games? Can I get some draft capital, or can I go to another running back that we can get off of?
So can you go to
Or that we would
Henderson
rather
after
have?
this week, for example?
Yeah, something along these lines here.
Right.
Just thinking long term, right? You want younger assets that feel like their upside is higher and that you're going to be able to compete since you don't have future capital.
Yeah. Can you go to a Judkins?
He has Judkins.
Oh yeah. Can you go to a James Cook?
Mm-hmm.
But like coming up with trades for you is going to be a little bit more difficult because your team is already good. I'm not going to tell you to tear down from Jaden or Josh Allen. You have plenty of depth right now. I'm not going to tell you to tear down from Puka Nacua. I'm not going to tell you to sell George Kittle while you're competing. So I don't think there are many active moves. It's just if you can pivot off of Brees for a name that we like that you can still contend with. Like even in his position, like would you pivot off of Brees for CMC? He's a definition of a must-win now with windows open, you know.
If you can, yeah.
But I think you're in a really good spot. You're definitely competing. If this was my team, I'd be holding it right now. And I would feel like, okay, before the trade deadline, let me see if there's any moves that I feel like I need to make. Right now, I don't think you need to. I love that you have Ricky Pearsall. I love that you have this young core of like Pearsall, Egbuka, Puka, Judkins, Jaden. This is great. Wait on JJ. Definitely don't sell JJ McCarthy. I think you're in a great spot, and I'm going to give you a free trade question voucher because I want you to come back and ask us questions throughout the season if you have any. I'm going to give you a free trade question. I'll give you a free start sit. Just some teams we can come up with ideas. In other teams, it's like if I force you to make a trade, it's not good advice. The best advice for your team is actually to hold. So that's what I would suggest you to do. Appreciate you, man. Thanks for letting us look at the squad. Now, some people are asking, like, hey, how do I get a team review? So I see some of y'all asking questions in the chat. Okay, so just so you guys know, anybody who gets a team review with Fantasyland with Badaki and myself, you also get what is called a team playbook, all right? And basically the way that this works is it's completely customized to your league settings. Now, if you want that, you got to use the promo code LAND. Become an annual Mother Flocker member on the Flock site. That will give you a voucher that you can use through the Flock store. Choose team review, choose Zach and Badaki, right? With Fantasyland. You can do that same process if you're a member of a different promo code. You just have to buy it a la carte. And if you're a season pass member with us, you can also get a, you can upgrade. You can upgrade from a season pass member to an annual Mother Flocker member. And it will take the price of the season pass off your membership. Okay, let's jump to, let's see if there's any questions here before we go to the next one.
Yeah, we do have two questions.
Okay.
One from JBL. Start sit. Jalen Hurts, Derek Jameer at the wide receiver starting London, and then it'll be Mbuka for me.
Yep.
With Jawan at the flex. Wow. I think it's going to be Bucky.
Can't sit Bucky.
It's a tough one.
A lot of great options there, but can't sit Bucky. Tristan Wirfs is back. I think last week's rushing attack for Tampa Bay will be the worst you'll see it all year.
Yeah, I agree. Mike, appreciate you, brother. Patrick, James, Marion, Olave, Malik, Brock, Javante at the flex here. It's going to be Travis Etienne. Now, you're still going to start Javante, but if you like to go crazy, you can do Matthew Golden there. But I think the way you have it lined up,
yeah, I wouldn't change
it's
anything.
going to be Etienne.
Yeah, you got to really be sure about Golden if you're going to play him before the breakout.
Which I understand.
And we've got another team review from B-Luds, which we'll get to today. But let's go to Chris. I'm guessing is the name.
Yes, Chris. Appreciate you, Chris. He says, I'm nervous on Mason's workload when Jones comes back. What are some potential moves I should be going after to secure a better running back and more safe running back floor? All right. And you're currently ranked second out of 10 Sinatra Club. And let's have a look at this team.
Currently 2-1, by the way.
Yeah. Patrick Mahomes, Justin Fields. You also have Jahmyr Gibbs with Alvin Kamara and Jordan Mason. Drake London, Cortland, Rashid, Jawan, Xavier with Brock Bowers and Jake Ferguson here. So
good news for you is when Rice comes back, this team is going to be unstoppable. Right now, you're starting Mahomes, Gibbs, Kamara, London, Sutton, Bowers, and then probably Jordan Mason in your flex. That makes 7. when Rice is back, you'll have an even stronger squad. I really like this team, especially having Bowers and Jake Ferguson as well. That's awesome. Charbonnet's on the bench or on the waivers. Pacheco's on the waivers. Calvin Ridley. I'd be curious if we can use Bowers or Ferguson in a trade with Mason and see if we can find a tight and needy team to upgrade at running back.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
And then use that free spot to pick up Charbonnet.
Yeah, so just to take you through that again, Chris, untradables is going to be Jahmyr Gibbs. And probably just Jahmyr Gibbs, just because normally we'll put Brock Bowers there. But since we're going to be, since you have Jake Ferguson, who's currently the tight end 1, he is tradable just based off of what the depth that you have at the tight end position. You're going to pick up Zach Charbonnet and then kind of go from there. I don't think there's anyone else on the waiver wires worth picking up. If you do have, I think that's about it there. So overall team grade, I think this team is good. I would give this like a B+ type of team.
Yeah. I think when Rice is back, it's A-.
Yeah.
But
I agree.
I probably agree with you. We'll go like B+ for now. So it's a pretty good squad. All right, let's jump to the whiteboard here. Chalkboard. Okay, so if you can put your cursor off that, by the way.
Sorry.
That's okay. I want to use either Ferguson or Bowers and Mason. So Jordan Mason, let's just say plus Jake Ferguson. Love Jake Ferguson, by the way. Just I want to be careful here. Let's see. Let's find a tight and needy team ideally. Kittle, Hunter Henry, he's probably fine. Juwan Hunter's probably fine. The Kincaid owner would be interested. The Hawkins and Pitts owner would be interested.
Harold Fannin owner.
Yeah, let's look at Harold Fannin. He's probably ideal. So ideally, you use Jordan Mason. Could we use this to get Ashton Genty? Buy low on Genty? Because really, you look at this and it's Genty and Charbonnet. Because you can pick up Charbonnet off the waiver wire.
Right, because we're looking for a running back depth.
Yeah. Now, obviously, I'd love to get a Monra, but we want to, you wanted to fix wide receiver or running back rather is what I meant to say. Okay, so here's the ideal partner. The Kincaid owner has Jacobs, so that's the other idea, Josh Jacobs. Let's see. Who has... The Hawkinson owner has Derek. So I would do this for Derrick Henry or even Kyron Williams. Those are two options. Again, if you're looking long term. That's probably an overpay in certain formats, but in your format, I don't think it really is. Especially with the way the waiver wire is looking. Maybe if the Kittle owner is desperate, can you get Omarion or Bucky?
Yeah.
So those are a couple ideas there. Now, I wouldn't really use Bowers, but if, for example, if like a team is interested in like Jonathan Taylor's on the table or CMC or one of these superstar names, then you could probably justify throwing Brock Bowers into one of those deals. But, let's say you got the Hampton deal done hypothetically. Well, then you've got, this lineup minus Mason plus Hampton and then minus Jake Ferguson, but you add Zach Charbonnet from the waiver wire anyway. So I think that's your probably ideal path forward, but I like the team. I think you're in a pretty good position. I don't think you really need to make a trade because you could just pick Charbonnet off the waiver wire anyway without making a deal.
Just keep it.
But
just keep
if
it
you
as
wanted
is.
to, then it's upgrade season.
I appreciate you, man. You should be receiving that playbook on the Flock Fantasy Message System. Go to Advice, then click on Messages. You see 2 tabs there. Click on that. That's where you're going to be able to see and access your customized playbook within the next 48 to 72 hours. So appreciate you.
Again, in the Advice tab here, when you guys submit a team review, you can click on that right here. And then you can see like there's a little message tab. That's where we're going to send you your playbook. Awesome.
Okay. let's have a look at the next one. We actually did get a trade question.
Oh, did we? Okay,
really
let's answer
quick.
that then.
And it says, well, might have submitted this wrong. All I'm seeing is wide receivers. On the back end, he says, who should be my wide receiver 2 in flex? So he's just looking for 2 options here.
Okay.
And at the wide receiver 2 position, I think I'm going to go.
Jacoby,
let me just triple check. Yeah, I was thinking between Brian Thomas and Jacoby, which I think it's going to be Brian Thomas and Jacoby.
Yeah.
But it's going to be Jacoby at the wide receiver 2, Brian Thomas at the flex. However way you want to put it, doesn't really matter.
Exactly. Look, I'd love to trust Golden, but I want to see the breakout first. And I understand if you want to lean that way with the matchup, I get it. I have no problem if that's what you want to do. But just keep in mind with these Packers receivers, it could be a Dobbs week, it could be a Wicks week, it could be a Kraft week. It's difficult because they don't need to throw the ball that much. They're very, very much a pass, not friendly team, if that makes sense. Appropriate Pine, I just saw your message, man. We're gonna do this review, but just a heads up, if there was any weird charge in your account, that should not happen. First of all. Second off, go to site issues on the Flock site, and I'm gonna say, please post in the site issues tab on our Discord. Our developers will be able to help sort that out. Okay, so I sent that to you on the back end. We're going to go ahead and do your team review, but if there's any weird charge, they're going to fix that in the site issues tab, I promise you. So let's have a look at his team.
Yeah. This is also Dynasty.
Yeah, okay. Totally okay.
Yeah, totally okay. He says, I want to know where I can sell my players for what value. First year Dynasty, first year playing super flex, but a bit sped up in the draft, but trying to salvage future win now. Not win now. Okay. Okay, so let's have a look at this context team here.
His name is Grok Scoopy Loads, which he's ranked 5th right now. And currently he sits at 4-2. So he's a competitive team.
Grok Scoopy. Okay, currently ranked 5th here. All right. You should see that on the back end. I still haven't changed the number, but
okay. Lamar Jackson. We are currently, I think, 6 subscribers away from 69K, which would be sick to hit on this stream.
Hey,
if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe. Okay.
All right, let's have a look at this team then. All right, Lamar Jackson, Jared Goff, with Justin Fields at the quarterback. That's a good quarterback room. Devon Achane, Derrick Henry, and the list goes on there at the running back position. Wide receivers in a start 10. Keep that in mind. This is a little bit of a deeper league, meaning he can start up to 5 wide receivers, and I put that in there. Puka Nacua, Xavier Worthy, Jaden Higgins, Tyreek Hill, Mike Evans, Michael Pittman, Ellick, and the list goes on with Tyler Warren and Brenton Strange. Looks like you have all your first in 26 and 27, which is good. Straight to untouchables is going to be Puka Nacua and Lamar Jackson. Those are the 2 guys you just want to keep for the future here, unless we kind of go into a different direction. But you'll definitely see that on your graphics. The holds for the future, I would say names like Ellick. Liking what I'm seeing so far from him. And probably Kyle Monangai, especially whatever is going to happen there with DeAndre Swift in the future. And probably that's about it. A bunch of guys that you can drop for now, which you don't have to, but later in the season is going to be the Joshua Palmers, the Jake Brownings by the end of the season, the Rashawn Johnsons you can drop as well. When it comes down to draft capital, just your typical B is going to be great for because you have all your draft capital. I actually give it a B plus because I see a couple of early fourths or extra seconds and fourths in there. Overall team grade and pathway, like you did mention, not competing. There's a lot of injuries to this team. Xavier Worthy has been out. Mike Evans is also now out. But you're 4-2. So there's definitely life here for sure. I'm going to give this team probably like a B minus. C plus B
Yeah.
minus. If these guys were healthy, if you told me Mike Evans was healthy right now, and your starting lineup with Mike Evans in, I think that's fine.
The
But
hard part is the start 10. So right now it's Lamar, Goff, HN, Henry, Puka, Worthy's back. So Worthy, Warren, and then you have 3 flex spots, which right now would be Tyreek, Pittman, and Ellick. I honestly don't think this team has to completely punt, but that's what they want to look at, so we can look at those options as far as selling veterans away. I do think Tyler Shuck should be rostered. You know, it's not like, and Dylan Gabriel. These guys have a chance to be a starter at some point this year. It doesn't mean they're good, but that's just worth rostering.
I'm surprised that they're not rostered in a super flex league.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, Joshua Palmer would be somebody I'll be willing to drop immediately for Tyler Shuck, and same probably with maybe Rashawn Johnson, Rashawn Johnson and Joshua Palmer, just because those guys aren't going to be as impactful to your roster, specifically this year. So
yeah,
I'm there with you.
All right, so look, if you are wanting to kind of trade away players and get a little younger, we'll look at that. But first off, your rookie group contains Ollie Gordon, Kyle Monangai, Higgins, A.O. Manor, Warren. I gave you a B. We talked about those guys off the waiver wire. Look, I don't think you have to completely throw it in and look towards next year. But if you want to do that, then Derrick Henry, you're looking for any first, you know, in any year. It doesn't matter if he comes out next week and has a 30-point game. You know, that's just Dynasty. You know, his value isn't going to improve. The most you could get for Henry in any league is a first, and a lot of people probably aren't willing to pay that. For Tyreek Hill, I would say multiple seconds. And of course, look, if you can net a first, great, but no one's sending a first for Tyreek in our leagues that we're a part of. For Mike Evans, I would say a mid second. And for Michael Pittman, I feel like he's more of a hold than a sell. But ideally, you get like any first in any year, and then you send Michael Pittman and a third or something.
Yeah, I'm okay with that as well.
Or Michael Pittman and Braylon Allen or Ray Davis or something to get it over the line. Justin Fields, I think Jared Goff is probably the one that you're selling most between these names. I'd say like a mid first. Ideally, and I would just say like ideally you target 2027 picks. Don't have to, but that's the ideal outcome for you. Now again, this is kind of the price point, but that price point is going to change over the course of the next couple weeks as players progress and regress. So I would probably suggest to hold this roster right now, but if you're wanting to make those moves, that's the value you should get back for those players.
Yeah, I agree. Completely agree.
One thing I will just say quickly, if you're going to sell Derrick Henry, one other idea is to think about younger names that you can pivot to in Dynasty. So let me just look at my Dynasty rankings real quick. Let's get my name up here. Let's go Dynasty. Let's go running back. So, for example, can you get Trey Benson? Right? Can you get a RJ Harvey? Those kind of names, right?
Yeah.
The Tyreek Hills, can you get Burden in a second for Tyreek in a third? You know, you're kind of betting on these names that haven't really broken out yet, but are still young. And can you turn Tyreek into, you already have Ricky Pearsall, but like that kind of name. But that's the game plan forward if you're wanting to look towards more of a punt.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. Hopefully you can get that stuff sorted. So definitely let us know if that is going to work out for you. But you should be receiving your customized playbook with everything that we drew up here today within 48 to 72 hours in the advice tab. So click on advice, then you see 2 tabs. Click on message, and that's where you're going to be seeing your customized playbook with the link to this live stream.
And
so I would appreciate you, man.
I would just say as well, like, you will get it sorted. 100% it will get sorted. I promise you. You just got to go to our site issues tab. It will 100% get sorted. All right, looks like Namas submitted a team review, and we've got B-Luds here. So We've got a couple more team reviews here. Again, there's absolutely no pressure for anyone to submit a team review, but just so you guys know how, if you do want to. First off, anybody who gets a team review with us also gets the team playbook. All right, we've talked about how awesome this is, customized for your fantasy team. You can get that by using the promo code LAND and becoming an annual Mother Flocker member. That will give you a voucher that you can use through the Flock store. Now, you can do the same process if you're a member of a different promo code. You just have to buy it outright. And if you're a season pass member with us, you can actually upgrade to an annual membership as well and get the voucher as well. Update on our status for 69K. Oh, wow. Okay, so 2 subscribers away from 69,000 subscribers. So
we appreciate you.
Just 2 subscribers away. We're getting very close. Let's go to B-Luds and his team review here. Shout out to B-Luds. Yeah. And if you're in the chat, guys, let us know.
Yeah. He says, hey, can you review my fantasy team? No doubt about it. 12 team, half PPR, 2 flex. Week 8, I'm toast. Genty, BTJ, Morrison, and Jason all on the bye. My players is stacked running back depth now. Drop my weakest running back after this week to grab a quarterback for coverage and maybe look to trade for a higher end tight end if the right deal pops.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, sometimes it's okay if you just take a loss 1 week, because if you just take a loss 1 week, then you don't have it's either you take a loss 1 week or you make trades and you might make your team worse to cover off a couple other weeks, and then you're still missing players every random week. You know, the advantage is if you have the majority of your players on 1 week, then after that week or before that week, you're facing a lot of teams that have a key player on bye anyway. So yeah. Basically what I'm trying to say is I don't force trades to cover buys unless I'm in like a very desperate situation.
Yeah, I completely agree. We were in that situation last year. And
by the way, just a little update, sorry. We did officially reach 69,000, ladies and gentlemen. So shout out to y'all. That's pretty cool.
I appreciate you guys. That's love.
What we're going to make sure and do is after this team review, we're going to do some giveaways. So hang around. And again, just make sure that you're entered. All you had to do was like the stream and type a wahoo wah and make sure you're subscribed. We'll do some giveaways after this team review here from B-Luds. Appreciate y'all for being here with us. That's awesome.
All right, B, let's have a look at this team. Currently ranked 6 out of 12 here. Caleb Williams is your quarterback. Genty, Omarion, RJ, 2, and the list goes on with Aaron Jones there. At the wide receiver position, JSN, Rome, Marvin, BTJ, Ellick with Harold, Fannin at the tight end position. My initial thoughts on untradables, I would just say Jackson Smith and Jigba. He's the guy that you want to keep for the future right now in the season. When it comes down to guys to pick up off the waiver wires, the first name I see is Jaden Higgins. If you wanted to pick him up,
don't really have room to drop players though. That's the
problem.
So just keep an eye on them.
Yeah, you're gonna see them in like the stash or the waiver wire section, and if there's nobody on the cut forecast, then like Zach said, keep an eye on them. I put Luther Bird in there as well, and then another player I would also put is going to be Chris Rodriguez, just to see what that is going to look like in the future. Overall team grade, you banked on a lot of rookies, I'll tell you that much. Ashton, Omarion, RJ, Harvey at the running back position.
Tough reality of the rookies is you got to be patient. It's not fun when you're at the beginning of the season.
You're 1 and 2 right now. So and look, you hit up the wide receivers in Jackson and Rome, but the guys that you took earlier in Brian Thomas and Marvin weren't hitting the way we expected.
Yeah.
I think there's still life with this team. I would say this is kind of like a B-, C+ type of team. That's where I'm currently at. Not sure where you're at.
Yeah, we said C+, B-.
Yeah.
I think we go B-.
Okay.
It's not a bad team. It needs some maturation. Still, it's going to take a little time for some of these guys to grow into their roles. As far as trades, though, you're in a difficult spot because you don't really have much leverage. And what do I mean by that? Well, Aaron Jones going down with an injury drastically hurts your ability to make a trade. RJ Harvey, the way Dobbins looks, Harvey is incredibly difficult to trade he's not a trade. He's a hold. He really is. Like, you can't trade him for anything right now. Brian Thomas, Marvin Harrison, underperforming, hard to trade. Ashton Genty, not living up to expectations yet, hard to trade. Pretty much across the roster, outside of a Jackson Smith and Jigba and a Roma Dunze, all of these players are difficult to trade. So you're not really in a window right now where you're a trade team. You're more of a hold. So people are going to be coming to you and they're going to be like, hey, man, let me get Ashton Genty on the cheap. Let me get Marvin on the cheap. Let me get Brian on the cheap. And it just doesn't benefit your team to take those deals, you know? Right now, you think about your starting lineup. It's Caleb, Genty, Hampton, JSN, Adunze, Fannin, and then Marvin Bryant. You have no margin for error here. You can't make a 2-for-1. If you make a 2-for-1 with any valuable players, who are you starting?
Your team. Yeah, it's gonna hurt your team significantly.
I love that you have Woody Marks stashed. You have a bunch of running backs stashed where like if any injury happens, you instantly improve value. You know. By the way, Peak Slope said that he had pick 12. So yeah, he would have started probably Genty, Brian Thomas, which hasn't lived up to the expectation yet, but still very early. Look, here's what I would say. If you can find the Kyron Williams owner, maybe there's room for margin here. Like, if you can look at the Kyron Williams owner and package Blake Corum, but what are you going to do? Like, you can't package Harvey in a deal. You got to wait on him.
No, you can't. You can't package Harvey. You have to wait. I mean, I'm in this same situation. Like, if I'm selling Harvey, no one wants to sell him for an impact player right now. I'm in the same exact position in the Flock League. I have RJ Harvey, and it sounds terrible, but like, you have to play the waiting game and hope for the injury or hope for more uptick in production.
Yeah. I mean, you could hypothetically package, let me get your playbook up here. You could hypothetically package Marvin Harrison Jr. and Blake Corum if you want a more consistent name. And you would be targeting the Kyron Williams owner. You know, as James Conner went down last week, everyone's thinking about it. Where are my handcuffs? Everyone's thinking about it.
Legit.
So that is a potential move that you can make with Goose Goats. Can he give you, like a Garrett Wilson maybe?
Maybe.
You know, something like that. Can you get a Trey Benson? And instead of, well, you would want a Trey Benson and something small. So like a Trey Benson and a JCM, or he's not going to give you Debo, but it'd have to be Debo or DJ, you know, something like that. But again, there's not much flexibility. So what I want Peak Slope to do is please type into the chat if you had any particular questions that you wanted us to address. But I am going to give you a free trade question voucher to come back on the stream and, you know, over the course of the year, ask us questions. If you have any questions, I'll give you a start sit as well. Free voucher. But right now, it's not actually going to be beneficial for us to come up with a bunch of ideas because you have a bunch of holds, not a bunch of sell highs. You know? I mean, maybe the other idea is if you're worried about Marvin Harrison, can you pivot off of him to some other names that are more reliable? I don't think you can get Roma Dunze, but, you know, let's say Roma Dunze, maybe there's a Cardinals fan or something in the chat. 2025 wide receivers. Let's see. Can you pivot to a Tetairoa McMillan? I don't know about Zay Flowers. Can you, like, Cortland Sutton? Cortland Sutton's another name. AJ Brown.
Yeah.
But outside of that, man, you kind of across the board, you're a hold. You're not a strong seller at this point. So
yeah.
Again, he says worried about Brian Thomas and Marvin, but really like my 4 receivers. Yeah. Honestly, if you had this receiver room heading into the season, I would be like, holy shit, you're stacked. It's just Brian and Marvin haven't lived up to expectations. But
yeah, that's what's crazy about it.
That doesn't make them sells. That makes them
You
holds.
just can't sell them now. You can't sell them now, unfortunately. But I think there's going to come a realistic point where, like, if you just need to win games, then maybe that is another conversation we will have.
Well, hopefully you started Marvin because at least he gave you a good game this week.
Yeah.
But appreciate you, man. Thanks for letting us with the squad.
Yeah,
Don't
man.
panic.
Yeah, and you'll be receiving this here in the next 48 to 72 hours on the Flock Fantasy message system. Thank you so much, man, for that support.
Let's do some
Um,
giveaways here. Again, all you had to do to enter the giveaway was type Wahoo Wah and like the stream. We did officially reach 69,000, which is awesome. Shout out to y'all. So we're gonna give away 6 vouchers now. Y'all ready for this? Da-na-na. 6 vouchers. 6 vouchers. Do we have any other questions? I'll give people one last second to enter here. Or is it just the team review?
No, we have Matt that does have a start sit question. So
let's
answer
Matt
this
real
first.
quick. So at quarterback, Stroud, right?
CJ, yeah. The running back, I see you have starting Derrick Henry. It's going to be Jalen Warren here. A wide receiver.
We're going to go McMillan.
Yeah, Tet. And then for me, I think it's going to be Jameson. Yeah. Tight end, Trey McBride. Hopefully you started him. If not, it's going to be Njoku. At the flex position, it's going to be T. Higgins for me.
Okay, I will go Pollard and...
Probably...
Pollard and T. Yeah. Addison, that passing attack is not exciting in Minnesota, so I know it's not either in Cincinnati, but I think Cincinnati's going to need to throw the ball majority of that game. Okay, let's do this giveaway. We're going to give away 6 vouchers in total. Let's start with 3 start-sit vouchers. Ready? 3 start-sit vouchers.
Sure.
Let's see. 3 start-sit vouchers. First one is Dale. All right. And we're just going to name the names first. Yeah. So, Dale. Next one is Terps. And the last start-sit goes to Sean Staples. All you guys got to do is DM me on Discord. There's my username. Send a screenshot of your YouTube account. And then I also need your Flock Fantasy username. And if you don't have a Flock Fantasy username, this is very important. Make sure you listen here. Create one for free, but make sure you use the promo code LAND. And that is to anybody who's in the chat listening right now who doesn't have an account yet. Again, create an account for free. I just put a link in the chat for you. Make sure you use the code LAND, L-A-N-D, so I can find you on the back end and give me that information. All right, let's do trade question vouchers now. There's 3 trade question vouchers. First one is going to Patience Morris. Second one is going to, looks like Paul Beauchamp. And the last one goes to Axiom. Shout out to you, Axiom. So again, guys, all you got to do is DM me on Discord. There's my username and give me all that information I just mentioned. Appreciate y'all big time for the love. Awesome. I'm trying to think if there was something I was supposed to do right now. Okay, so someone had a question: does the team playbook go for the rest of the season or just the week that you submitted? Yeah, I mean, guys, I just want you to think about that from like a logistical standpoint. There's just no way we could give you a team playbook every single week. It's already like a very customized, very unique thing in the space. No, the amount of you guys supporting us, we would drown. I would never sleep. It's just not possible. So
yeah, that is for us, but we appreciate you guys.
Yeah, we want these to be customized. We want them to be personal. And if we go out there and offer it every week, it's not going to be good advice, honestly, if we found a way to do that. How does the subscription plan work? Do I consistently pay $79 for a team review? So the annual membership is $97 over the course of a year. That's about $8 per month if you think about it. You get unlimited access to the Flock Fantasy website. You get unlimited access to the rankings, the trade calculator, right? The comparison tools, the prediction tools, the vouchers on the Flock site, the My Teams analyzer, the prospects model, the draft guides. You get access to the My Teams feature. You get a free trade question, free start sit voucher, and as well as the team playbook voucher. So that's how that works, gang. Appreciate y'all big time for showing some love. All right, is this the last team review of the day? Looks like it.
I think Thomas. Okay, let's have a look at this team here.
But sorry, just to clarify, if you become a member, you get a voucher. You don't, the playbook comes with the membership. But then if you wanted another playbook after that, all members get discounts. I think it's a 30% discount if you wanted another playbook. So, yeah, appreciate y'all.
Yeah. Says 1 quarterback, 12 teams start 8. So that's our meat and potatoes there, which we'll have a look. It says, I think I'm overall happy with this team. Very unlucky to be 1-2. If there's any trades you guys think I should go and make or just stay the same for now, what are your thoughts on the team? And your team name is next up, and you're currently ranked 1 out of 12. First out of 12. Let's have a look at this team. Jared Goff, Brock Purdy, you're 1-2. Omarion, Javonte, Kenneth Walker with Puka, Drake, AJ Brown, Jameson, Jawan Ellick with TJ, and Hunter Henry. I mean, right off the rip, like Zach said, this is a good team here. No doubt about it. Untradables, Puka Nacua, and only Puka Nacua, I would say, on a team like this. Absolute dog. Waiver wire or pickup type of players. I don't really see anyone you're worth picking up outside of.
It's just you're not going to drop anyone on his team to pick one of these names out.
I would definitely say, like, in my perspective, names like Tyrone Tracy, if you had an IR, you can probably slide him on there, but I doubt he's going to even. He's not going on IR. Other guys you can pick up maybe as a handcuff is probably the Braylon Allens of the world. And probably that's about it. Just to monitor those guys. And the same thing with the tight ends with like the Orton Gadsden or the Brenton Strange if you really wanted to.
Yeah.
But that's all you have.
Yeah, like your team, there's not really moves on the waiver wire to make because you can't drop anyone. That's the problem. You can't really drop these names. But I love the team. I think this is definitely A. I'm just trying to figure out if it's an A. It's probably an A-.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's an A- there.
The fact that you are 1-2 is very surprising with Puka. I guess London's been disappointing. AJ Brown hasn't been great except for last week.
He didn't really have the opportunity. I mean, Kenneth Walker didn't play the same week of Marion.
Kenneth Walker has played every week. He just hasn't been great.
Has he?
Yeah.
When did he get injured?
He hasn't been.
That was Zach Charbonnet. Zach Charbonnet. That's why I'm getting confused. Right. Okay. Say less.
I like this team a lot, honestly. I think you're going to be much better moving forward. I think it should be said, because I hear Captain in the chat. He says Gadsden is fool's gold. I get these comments a lot, like even on our stash videos. But we keep finding gems every single week on our stash videos. And you guys have to understand that there's a reason these players are on the waiver wire. There's a reason they're not rostered anywhere. The likelihood is, most of these players that are for free on the waiver wire are not going to be worth anything. But you're trying to find the needle in the haystack. You're trying to look at trends and find players that are potentially going to improve their value. You know what I mean? So, but to get 7 targets on 26% of the snaps in a Greg Roman offense, how much Greg loves his tight ends, I definitely think he's worth stashing out there if you guys don't have a tight end that you love. Now, this team in particular, we can't really tell them to drop anyone. So it all comes down to roster management. Okay, so look, I love this team. I'm shocked that you're 1-2. Thinking about moves, I think Javonte might be a piece we can move. I'd almost be interested in like a Jawan
type of situation.
Jawan,
That's where my mind went to.
Yeah. I think that's probably the package we're putting together. Alternatively, maybe Hunter Henry. If there's a team out there that just desperately needs tight end. Yeah. So, let's find a. Ideally, I want to upgrade at running back by using Jawan Jennings, by the way. But let's see. So could you turn Javonte and Jennings? I would say into like a Judkins. No, that won't work.
Yeah.
Let's keep looking. You can't get like Devon Achane.
No, I don't think you can.
But
I think that
maybe
range that
Derrick
you were at
Henry.
is good. Like I did like the Quinchon one. You could do Derek.
It's just I need something back if I'm
You
doing
need something
Quinchon,
back, yeah.
and I don't
Which
know
I
what that
understand.
is for that team. Like I
I
don't care
understand
about
that.
Diggs or Kirk. I mean, you could ask for Monty. It's probably not happening though. Like that trade's probably not going through. The JCM owner, no. Jonathan Taylor owner's not going to entertain it.
No.
Even no. See, like Benson Higgins doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
You could try and buy low on Genty. Man, the depth of these teams is so weird.
These teams are not good.
How about Kyron Williams and Xavier Worthy? Something like that. Bet a bigger bet long term, but that would be the Jennings trade.
That feels significantly better.
That's probably the one that makes the most sense so far. Let's keep looking. Don't really want to do Henderson right now. Yeah. I mean, Bucky Irving, if you can do that, I doubt that's possible, though. Now, if we can approach it from the angle of using Hunter Henry, that Zach Ertz owner, I mean, can you turn Javonte? Yeah, see, you can't turn Javonte into anything typically. The Kelsey owner, if you can turn that into Alvin Kamara, I like that. Most of these guys don't need tight end, though. Yeah,
I guess that's kind of unless you can sell high. Like I feel like Jawan, like the Bucky Irving one feels good, obviously. But yeah. I'm there with you.
Yeah.
Especially
is this Kenny? Is this your team? No. Is Nomus in the chat? Is Nomus in the chat? Let us know.
Yeah. I haven't seen him in the chat, but
these are some ideas that I would have for you if you want to get off of Javonte. That would be the player I'd be looking to get off of before. And look, I don't think Javonte is going to be bad or anything. It's just the upcoming stretch is not nice. Packers, Jets, the Panthers are fine. Washington's a good rush defense. I just don't love like the KC, Detroit, Minnesota. A lot of difficult matchups upcoming. So, but you can't really sell Jameson. He's got to be that like influx of upside in your lineup each week. You kind of have to live and die by him, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Walker, it's not a good week to sell Walker. You need to wait for Walker to have a blow up week to sell him, and then you can look for something more consistent if he does.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I don't think we have Namus in the chat, but that's the direction we would take the team, man. Great team. Thanks for letting us review it.
Yeah, Namus, man. And when you're watching this, you should be receiving your playbook here in the next 48 to 72 hours on the Flock Fantasy message system. So we appreciate you.
Esteban is in the chat. What's up, brother? Let us know if you had any final questions there, but I think that is the queue for today. We caught up to the queue. No worries, Esteban. Thanks for letting us review the squad.
Yeah, wow.
So what we'll do to end today's stream, unless there's any questions that come through on the site, is let's just answer 2 questions at random. Just 2 questions at random in the chat.
At random.
And then we're going to end the stream, which is perfect because I want to go eat lunch. Here in Sydney, Australia, it's lunchtime. Americans born and raised, but living in Sydney, Australia, mate. Okay, let's start with armed resistance for the movement. Matthew Golden or Tet in week 4. I'm going Tet, but
it's going to be Tet.
I
like Matthew Golden.
Matchup.
I said that the matchup is great. The opportunity is there. I wouldn't be surprised if this is the Matthew Golden breakout week. If you can buy Matthew Golden somehow, I think you should. But this is a phenomenal match of him. But I'm still going Tetaroa.
Yes. Edgar with Ricky or Rome easily. Terminator says Drake or Sutton this week. That's really close. I'll probably lean Sutton, but they're both great options. Don't know if you have a strong opinion on that one.
No. I'm leaning Sutton there.
Yeah. Just looking at my rankings, but yeah, I would lean there slightly. All right, guys, that's it for today. We will be answering questions all the way up until kickoff. I apologize about last week. I there's this weird thing going on with iPhones right now where the alarms aren't working. But we will be answering questions all the way up until kickoff. Yeah, literally crazy. And submit them through the Flock site if you have something that you desperately need answered. Otherwise, best of luck this week, guys. I appreciate y'all big time, and we'll see you soon. Nothing but love.
Love.